Welcome to part 2 of For the Blood is the Life, part of our regular weekly Fantasy Age campaign. Starring Sean McGuile as Alderan Talaran, the Elf Ranger, Louise Mary Morris as Mog the Bright-Eyed Clan, an Orc Rogue and Artist, Nell Imp Tate as Tamara Greyhawk, the Human Warrior, and Patrick Heaviside as Curge Razorclaw, the Beastfolk Bear-Form Druid. Your Games Master is Brian F. Irving. The game system is Fantasy Age, published by Green Ronin Games. Featuring music by Tabletop Audio and Cartography by Gethsemane Games. Previously on For the Blood is the Life. While returning from their previous adventures, a small band of would-be heroes encounter a dead goat on the high road between Fannon's trading post and Ediston Point Beacon. Drained almost entirely of blood, the goat appeared to have been the victim of something with a taste for blood. Encountering Hewell, the gnome goat herd, and his herd dog Rufus T. Davies, the party learned that a small hive of vampires has turned the area into a hunting ground and seems to be based in a deep sinkhole nearby. Promising to rid the area of the vampires, the party found the sinkhole and descended into the depths of the darkened cave system, where they encountered vile aquatic undead before discovering a small magical gem which stores mana, the energy used to fuel a magician's powers. Pressing on, they entered the cavern, its ceiling covered in sleeping bats, its floor a mix of guano and bones of the dead. Firing a pistol into the air to frighten the bats, causing them to flee, the party pressed on and rejoin them today as the bone piles begin reassembling themselves into the horrid undead forms of animated skeletons, and battle is about to be joined. So, brace yourselves then, because we have incoming undead crawling all over the place. Speaking of crawling, Mog of the Bright-Eyed Clan is actually crawling along the walls with a spider-like ability gained from her magical tattoos, hence the little marker above her head. And it is Mog of the Bright-Eyed Clan to lead off the combat round. What would you like to do?
Right, have any of these guys seen me?
At the moment, I'm going to go ahead and say no, I don't think they have.
Right, in that case,
That's
I'm going to keep crawling up the. I'm going to try and get under the ceiling, right?
Okay.
So that's. I'll take a square off my movement for that. Yeah.
Yes, you can do, yeah. And then you just scuttle up the wall spider-like, except for having fewer limbs, obviously. And as you get to the top, you put your hands onto the ceiling and then start moving along that, then your feet and scuttling along there. So you have a bloody great orc with a massive battle axe crawling along the ceiling like some kind of spidery thing. And that's actually creepier than the undead that you're facing, you realise that?
I told you I'd work out stealth eventually.
You can, since you're going across the top of them, make a stealth roll for me, if you would, please. That's dexterity stealth.
Okay. I should really pick up that focus.
You really should, I. Okay, so you've set a target number of 14 for anybody who wants to try and spot you. So as the undead's rounds come up, I will make a roll to see if they noticed you or not. with a target number like that, I think you're probably good. But we'll wait and see. Is there anything else Morg would like to do? That's her movement action. You still have a minor action available.
Can we wait and see if they've spotted me?
Yes, you can indeed. Okay, so next one down is Walking Dead number 6, and that's the one that's closest to you, as luck would have it, or one of the ones that's closest to you. So let's just make a roll and see if that particular Walking Dead notices you. So it's perception, seeing. Oh dear.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
It's not good for it. It's got a -1 in perception. Oh! Having said that, it rolled triple sixes.
Oh no! I can't see its roll.
Can you not? Okay, I'll just...
No.
No, you've got them on Whisper.
Must have them on Whisper. I'll take... Oh, I know why I had them on Whisper, because when they when you arrived, they were just piles of bones. I didn't want to give the game away, but I'll take them off Whisper the next time I pop them open. That one has spotted you. You're on the ceiling. The ceiling of this area is... it's a touch on the high side, actually. I don't think it can reach you from there. It's about 2 meters in height, slightly less. So by the time it leans up... No, it can't actually reach you, so there's nothing it can do about the fact that it knows you're there, so it's going to have to pick another target. Sorry for this, Glenn, but the next target in line for it would be Courage.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's coming in at Courage. I will take them off Whisper so you can see what's going on. I feel that builds the tension more when you can see those high dice rolls racking up. Okay, so this one's going to attempt to claw Courage.
When you can see demonic entities rolling 666.
Yeah, that too.
Brian, once you start to let us see the dice rolls, they all fall apart at that point.
They do, yeah. So it's rolled an 8, so I don't think that's going to hit Courage, is it?
It is not.
No, I didn't think so. Okay, so it's Walking Dead number... oops, it is. That's a funny number, isn't it? It's Walking Dead number 11. Okay, so... That one hadn't revealed itself yet, but it's about to now. So, there we go. Another one springs up over here, pulling itself together with a clattering of bones. It suddenly forms itself into some kind of ram-headed beast folk undead. And it's taken its major action to change. It will then advance into combat, and that's it done. Alderan, you to act next.
Me to go next. Right. I'm going to... basically... at this point, what do I do? Yeah, okay. So there's an undead under where Tamara's currently stood.
Undead underwear, that isn't uncomfortable.
There is certainly a pile of bones beneath Tamara. Let me just check if it's transformed into an undead. It actually has. So, yes. So it won't be
She was
under
originally in this square, though.
She was originally in that square. Okay. I'll just move her and turn her that way. So, yes, there's an undead sort of right here. Right next to Tamara, which is just...
Well, I'm going to move to there and then I'm going to attack it.
Okay, go for it. You can make your... because you're a rogue, you make your pinpoint attack, because your dexterity is definitely higher than the Walking Dead.
Swing.
And we wait a little bit longer for Sean's rolls to arrive, because there's some kind of delay between him and me. Wi-Fi wise, despite the fact that we're the ones that live closest together.
Oh, we haven't seen it.
In fact, if he leaned out the window, he could shout his dice rolls to me. I know, but when I started this sentence, it hadn't come up. Okay, that's 14, and that's a hit.
Right, let me try and see if this speeds things
Oh,
up.
that was quick. Yeah, straight through. 15.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I know what it is then.
Okay. 15 damage you've done to that undead. It has 4 points of armor, so that's 11 points get through. And it doesn't seem to want to pop up its hit points for me. There we go. It has now. Okay, that's 11 points got through. So, what weapon were you using for that? That was your sword. Yep.
Short sword, pinpoint attack.
So as the creature forms, you thrust your sword forward straight into its ribcage, shattering two of the lower ribs, and pull back, managing to crack a third rib on the way out. So bits of this skeletal form are already starting to drop off. And Nell, it's Tamara to go next.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm then going to go put myself in defend mode.
You already
It's
made a
minor.
move. It's only one square. Yeah, go on. I'll allow that. Okay, so Tamara, here to go.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to draw my board and join Aldran in trying to hack this thing to pieces.
Twatting that
Basically.
undead, right you are. Make a roll. They're not terribly agile, these things, so you should be able to score a hit. Its defense is only 8, so any roll of 8 or better will hit it.
Okay, just taking its time.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go, excellent. That's 15, that's an easy hit. So you draw your sword and in one fluid movement slice up across the creature's sort of flank, really. If you'd like to roll the damage for your sword.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 10 damage, so that's 6 gets through. So that's most of that side of its ribcage is completely shattered now between the blow that Alderaan did and the blow that you did. It's difficult to tell with undead because they are just sort of animated bones. But you would say another blow like either of the ones that you two have landed on it, probably likely to finish this thing off. It's already looking ropey. All the ribs on one side are gone. There's a crack across its sternum. There's a crack in its clavicle as well, so you really don't think it can take much more damage. And the next one up, unless you've got a minor action you'd like to take.
I don't think so, no.
Right, you are. So the next.
If I may suggest,
Yep.
you might want to get yourself out of return hit range.
You could try. Yeah, you've still got to move. If you wanted to move somewhere, you're welcome to make a move.
Okay, in which case, I'm going to sidestep towards where we'd just come in.
Okay, you can move yourself up to your speed, that number of squares. And that's another roll to see if this undead has noticed the spider-like orc above it, and it hasn't, so Mog scuttles straight across the top of this one, leaving it completely unaware that there's anything there. So, Nell, if you'd just like to move your thing before I decide where this creature's going. Right, definitely can't see you if you've gone that far. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it. Oh no, actually they tend towards mob attack, so it will move in there and attack Courage the crocodile with a claw attack. So these things are not terribly well armed. Nobody's thought to give them any weapons. Is a 13 a hit?
It is.
It is. So it's beaten your defense. It hasn't scored any stunts, so it's just a case of rolling the damage. And the damage is 6 points of damage to Courage in his crocodile.
That's two after armor.
2. Oh god, right, okay. Okay, so it's going to take the undead quite a while to beat this crocodile to death at that rate, I think.
Yeah.
So
I'm speed bumping them. Get yourselves a way down, yeah?
Yeah. So the next undead, let's just see if it noticed the orc crossing above it. Nope, completely oblivious. So it is also going to have to attack Courage then.
Sorry.
And that's 14, so that's a hit as well.
It is.
Honestly, with 5 points of armor, though, it's going to take them a long time to do much harm. Okay, 6 points of damage.
4 points of
4
armor.
points of armor. It's still going to take them a long time.
Yeah.
So that was 6 points of damage, so only 2 gets past your armor. And next up, we have this pile of bones over here. And it is going to turn into an undead itself. So that's another pile of bones that you see it just form up The bones pull together, like slide across the floor, just click into place, click, click, with a sickening sound. And let's see if it noticed the Mogs directly, well, not directly above it, but very, very close. Because it actually might have a way of getting to her if it notices. So let's just make a perception roll. Nope, none the wiser. It didn't notice. So it's clambering slowly across the guano-stained floor towards the crocodile. And it is going to attack again with a claw. 10. I think that's a miss.
It is.
It is a miss.
You've got to beat my defense, not match it. Is that correct?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a miss.
So, Courage, you to go.
Mm-hmm. Right. This one's severely weakened, yeah?
It is, yes, very much so.
Okay.
You can tell at a glance because there's a lot of bits missing that should be attached to it.
Am I in range without moving? Just having turned around.
Yes, you are.
I mean, it's a diagonal, so...
That's fine. It's still an adjacent square, so yes, you're in
Right.
You're in range.
Okay, now I've got to do this via the dice roller. So that's 3d6 plus 4.
Anything above an 8 will hit it. That's a 15. That's a definite hit. It didn't score any stunt points. I don't think anybody has yet in this fight. So just roll your damage.
2d6 plus 4 damage.
Ooh, right you are. Okay.
And make it snappy.
Oh, dear. So it's got 4 points of armor. So that's 7 points of damage. Right. So.
I don't mind your groans. I've got a thick skin.
Dear me. Right.
I'm
Okay.
in a minute if you don't stop
So-
with these guns.
Situation is, we're going to run, and he's got
Yes.
the hide.
Okay. Courageous.
I'm going to tip the scales in our
Oh
favour.
God! Courageous crocodile jaws slam shut on the undead, which it just manages to wriggle free, but not without you fracturing its leg and tearing one of the bones out of the lower leg completely. So this thing is now sort of shambling about. Lots of bits of bone have broken. You can see cracks carrying up through the other major bones of the leg as well. And you think, at this point, you think a stiff breeze would probably finish this thing off. Okay, undead number 7, please. Let's have a look and see if it noticed this scuttling orc above its head. And it didn't.
I'll hold my minor action if I may.
You may, yes, sorry, I should have asked you about the minor action, but you may indeed hold it. Okay. This undead is advancing this way. So I think that's an area it can get into. So it's going to come in there and join the mob to try and attack Courage. Gets one claw attack against you and scores a 12, so that's a hit for 8 points of damage, which I think is a maximum it could have got. It is, yes.
Right.
Sorry about the coughing there, that took me completely off guard. Otherwise I'd have muted my mic before it happened, but it just happened. Okay.
Well, we're dealing with vampires, we're expecting coffins.
I'll start deducting points for these puns. It's the only way. I'm not really. Okay, so Walking Dead number 4, please. That one is right next to where Mog stopped. So let's have a look and see if it notices. Nope. I don't know what they use for vision, these creatures, but they need to get a scene to.
Maybe it's a very mossy ceiling. I am green.
It is quite a mossy ceiling, actually. So, and it is quite high. So that one's moving in there and is attacking Courage the crocodile.
You'd think they'd be better at navigation, though, because they're always using Dead Reckoning.
Oh. For the listeners at home, this is what I have to put up with every week.
I'll actually take a close look, arcane-wise, at their skulls to see how it is that they perceive vision. Come on, Brian, give me an answer. Sock it to me.
Oh. Sock Right, okay. You have no idea how they perceive vision because there are no eyes in the skull, so it's some kind of supernatural sense. Or it's not that super because it can't notice an orc crawling along the ceiling above it. Okay, and we are back to the start of the round, and at this point, that mysterious thing hasn't appeared yet, so we move straight.
I can't see it from where I am.
Oh, if you can see it, it can probably see you, so let's have a look. And it will have a chance of seeing you that's considerably better than the skeleton.
It might do.
It does have, so I will give it a chance to spot you. This one is definitely still on Whisper to the Games Master because there are certain things about it I don't want you to know till it gets close enough for you to figure it out. So it's a question mark. So the question mark is going to see if it can spot. It does have seeing, it also has smelling and hearing, so I can just pick any focus I like, really. And I have rolled, as you'll be able to tell on the video later, 14, which I think is what you got, wasn't it?
I can see that.
I can see that.
You can see that, so that's not
Yes.
on Whisper at all. Then.
No.
Dear.
Say previously, Brian.
Hmm? Doesn't matter.
When you rolled its initiative, I said we can see what it is.
Yeah, I thought you must have been talking about something else because it literally told me that it had whispered it to the Games Master, but it obviously hadn't. Doesn't matter, you now know what it is. You're pretty much expecting to encounter one of those anyway. It's
I
just...
probably would have rumbled it from its character model anyway, which is really cool, gotta say.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so... because of the fact it spotted you and you've spotted it, it's going to start doing exactly what you're doing, because you can't tell from the way it's displayed on the map there, but it is actually hanging upside down from the ceiling. So when it spots you, it pulls itself up, slams its other hands onto the ceiling as well, and starts walking across the ceiling the same way you are, the jaws clattering. Although it's mostly bat-shaped, its jaws are more sort of a bit like a ghoul's. You've encountered ghouls before. Or, for those of you who don't know what a ghoul's jaws look like in the age system, if you think Predator, they open kind of that way. So it's crawling along the floor towards you, clacking.
It's tinging, isn't it?
It could be, yeah. Let's just
that
see
Lionel
what
Richie
its
song.
speed is. That's 10, so it's still got some more movements from there. 14, and it gets to there. It could, of course, fly, but it just feels it's slightly more intimidating, crawling along the ceiling towards you. Its eyes locked on Mog. I'm going to eat you, little Oggy. So, this skeleton that has completely failed to notice as a whacking great 6'3" orc above it is going to attack Courage.
Hang on, I missed my turn, didn't happen there.
You're
I should
right,
have
it didn't,
had the
because
next
you
turn.
told me the other guy should have gone. So I'm just going to reorder. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to close that and just move you back up. And Mog should be right at the top here. So it's you to go, Louise, if you want to choose what Mog's doing while I move you back into the
Yeah.
correct position.
I have a theory that I'm not going to be able to communicate down to my fellows on the ground,
Okay.
but I am going to go for Batty Chops over here. Hang on. Oh, blimey. And just get there.
Okay, so you crawl across the ceiling, locking eyes with it, given no
Grinning at it.
effect. You're grinning at it and starting to try and work out how you're going to hang on to the ceiling and grab your axe. And you suddenly realise you can literally do that with just your feet.
Yeah.
So you
And
two
I'm
are both going to have this insane battle above the heads of everybody else, hanging from the ceiling down. That's pretty
I'm going to take a swing at it with forced perspective.
Okay, you take false perspective from the sheath across your back and swing the axe towards this bat-like creature. This man-sized bat-like creature. And that would be a 9, which I don't think comes anywhere close to hitting it, but I'll just double check.
That miss.
Yeah, so you swing force perspective, and you've been a little bit too excitable and swung too early, so it literally just drops its front arms off the ceiling, so it's just hanging from the back, and then does this sort of clack and cackle at you. And with that, it is this undead to go next. So I'll just pan out a little bit so I can see everything. And I think it was about to attack. Yeah, this is the Beastkin undead. It's attacking Kurge, who's currently in his crocodile form. Let's make a roll. That's a miss, a narrow miss, but a miss nonetheless. And next up we have another undead also attacking Kurge. Then it wants me to roll for Mog again, so that's not.
Yeah, you didn't move it to the top. You had
Right,
moved it
I
to there.
must have fallen short. Okay. So 11, I think that's just a hit, isn't it? It is, yeah.
It is.
Okay. So it tries to grab you by the tail, and it inflicts 6 points of damage with its claw-like bony fingers.
That's 2.
Okay, that's not Mog next then, because she's already gone. So it is Sean, it's Alderan to go. What would you like to do?
Right. So effectively, I could charge into that space.
Yep.
And attack that skeleton.
You could, yes.
That's basically what I'm going to do.
Okie dokie, you charge into that space and attack the damaged skeleton. Make your attack.
Right. I can't miss.
Yeah, you're going to want to roll anyway, just in case you get some stunts. Which you did, 4 points worth.
4 points worth of stunts. Okay. Let's do the damage first.
Yep. Because I suspect you've probably... Yeah, I'm right, you've killed it. It only had 1 hit point left, so if you would like to describe how you killed it...
Right, I'm just basically going to cut through its spine.
Okay.
Swinging sword.
You swing the sword, it hits just at where some of the ribs used to be on that side that you shattered last round. You sever through the spine and through the ribs on the other side, and it just clatters to the ground in a pile of shattered bone. What would you like to do with your 4 stunt points?
Seize the initiative. I now have an initiative of 19.
Okay, so I will just alter your initiative from 13 to 19. We will reorder the initiative there.
And then you need to move it up to... Tomorrow's going to be next.
Yep, tomorrow will be next.
Or
so-
there's an undead, which is currently on 13 as well.
There is, but tomorrow would be slightly ahead of it due to her higher dexterity. So, Nell, it's tomorrow to go. What would you like to do?
Well, actually, I'm going to move back as well.
Okay,
To there.
you can move back as well. Tamara, what would you like to do? Nell? Have we lost Nell again?
Yeah, no, sorry, I was on mute.
Ah, right. Okay, well, it's you to go.
Yeah. So I'm going to start firing arrows at the thing on the ceiling.
Okay. You
Can you
can...
see it?
Actually, from there, probably not. Let's just have a quick look.
Ah, okay.
You basically, it's
Nope.
there through the wall.
In fact, from there, because you've retreated out of the line of the candle that Kurt just got waxed attached to his back, you can't see much in that direction. You can see back into the cavern you entered because the sunlight's draining down, but all you can see looking back the other way is Alderan comes racing out of the darkness and undead behind him breaking into pieces. You can see there's one other skeleton here with the ram's horns, and that's all you can see.
Yeah, it's
Hammer that one.
may as well shoot at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, draw your bow and make an attack.
Okay.
that's an 11. That's a hit. It's a narrow hit, but it is a hit. So as that creature kind of comes round onto Kurge's flank, this arrow comes thunk right into its back. Roll the damage. 9 damage, right. So that's 5 by the time it gets through its armour. So you've hit it square in the scapula and shattered one of the scapula. Oddly enough, the armour's still working, as it wouldn't do if the creature was alive, but it really doesn't feel the pain because, you know, it's dead. You have, however, caused quite significant damage to it in that hit.
Right.
Do you have a minor action you would like to carry out, or is that you done?
Yeah, I'm going to take a couple of steps back towards them, just so I can kind of see better.
Yep, okay. Move yourself to where you would like
so
to
you're
move.
actually at that corner sort of thing, just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking in. So you can
Okay,
see.
actually I can move you to there, because I can then do the thing to put you slightly between squares. Right, so you're there bracing against that as a slight bit of cover, and preparing for your action next round. So it is this undead that you've just shot. Except that's not the one you're supposed to... Oh no, that's not the one you've shot. The lines are at the top, not the bottom. So it's this undead next to the one that you've just shot. And that's going to take an attack against... oh, hello, what happened there? Okay. Something went a little bit odd, and it wouldn't allow me to open that normally, so I'm just going to have another crack. So it's Walking Dead, and let's try double-clicking it. Nope. Okay, I think it's just collapsed. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Right, so that undead is going to have a claw at Kurge. And that's a miss. Narrow miss, but a miss nonetheless. So the next undead is going to attack Kurge as well. It's going to step in and attack. Dead. Attack. 14 with 4 points of stunts. Now let's have a look at what their preferred stunts are. Knocking prone is going to be virtually impossible against something as low to the ground as a crocodile. So it's going to have to be a swarm, and it only has 1 point of stunts left after it uses swarm. So I don't really think there's much else for it to do. Actually, it could skirmish. But let's get the damage sorted out first, shall we? So, Kurge takes 3 points of damage. So none at all gets through his armour. But the
Regains
creature...
health.
but the creature does use the swarm attack. So I'll just read swarm attack out to you. Walking Dead can perform swarm tactics as a special stunt, costing 3 stun points, which you know. Stunt allows any other Walking Dead adjacent to the target to make an immediate attack. Oh dear.
Wow. Adjacent to the target, or adjacent to the one doing it?
The target. The
That's
target.
all of them then.
That's, yeah, pretty much. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's already attacked, so that's 6. So that's 6 Walking Dead are all going to now lunge. So if you've ever seen zombie movies, this is the point at which all of the zombies are clawing at something on the ground. These are skeletons, obviously. But other than that, so 6 attacks. That's a hit. That's a miss. That's a hit. So that's 2 hits. That's 3 hits. That's a miss. 1 more. That's 4 hits. So, from the first one, you take 5 damage.
Okay.
From the second one, you take 3 damage. Won't get through your armour. How many hits did I say?
4.
4. Okay,
I
2
believe.
more. So that's 8 from the third one.
Ooh.
And 5 from the fourth one.
Total of 10 damage.
Yeah. So these things are leaning over you, just clawing madly, biting, scratching, just trying to pull you apart, which is quite difficult because of that thick hide that you've got in this animal form. And that doesn't count as their action towards the round.
No,
so
no.
a lot of these guys are going to attack you again. And up next is this one, which is the one with that got shot. That one is also going to attempt to attack you again. Claw. 16, that's a hit. But no stunts. So 6 damage.
That's another 2.
And
It's all building up. Right, everybody else, just remember the plan, because
just want to move something.
I'm not staying here much longer.
Seem to have... it's that one that's showing up. Right, okay. So, oh no, Walking Dead 4. Seems... he's already active. So it's Courage to go.
Right. Okay, so we've got one that's taken an arrow in terms of damage, yeah?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
That would be this one here that I'm pinging now. That one's been shot in the back. One of its shoulder blades has been pierced. You can still see Tamara's arrow sticking out of that.
Mm-hmm. Is an 11 a hit?
An 11 is a hit.
Yes.
Anything over an 8 hits these.
Lovely. 2d6 plus 4 damage.
Okay, that's 11 damage.
Yep.
And I'm just going to have to move him out so I can see his radial menu more easily, and then I'll pop him back in. 4 points of armor, 7 points has got through. 7. So, you bring Kurja's jaws shut on the same arm that he got the shoulder shot out of, and you just feel the arm snap off in your mouth. So you now have the skeleton's left arm in your jaws.
Beamed to death with a dryer.
Okay.
Right. Can I get into there?
Can you get into... Yes, you can. You can crawl over this dead one. This is... it was a bit too low for Mog, because it was just under 2 meters at this end. But obviously you're very low to the ground. You can quite easily get into there.
Right.
So Courage kind of slithers off, taking off at a bit of a run, actually, for a crocodile, and then getting into a relatively safe position and manoeuvring himself around, as this undead is now going to have to hunt for its opponent. So let's just check their speed. It's only 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gets all the way to there and then makes an attack against Tamara. So, let's have a look. It's rolled a 12. Does that beat Tamara's defense? I don't think it will, but it might.
Let me just check that. Hang on. Defense, yeah?
Yes, defense. Yeah.
12.
12. Well, in that case, you'll be down a bit from 12 because you're currently using a bow, aren't you? Which means you're not using your shield.
Okay.
So that will actually be a hit. If you switch from your bow to your sword and shield, then that in future a 12 would be a miss. But while you've got your bow in your hand, that's a hit. So it's a claw attack. 6 points of damage, minus whatever your armor rating is. So take your armor rating off that 6 and then take whatever's left off your current health. And it is Alderan to go.
Right. Time to break out the artillery.
Yep.
Yeah. This basically makes 4 points of armor kind of redundant.
Yeah. Okay, so you strike it right in the centre of the chest. You do 10 points of damage.
That could have been better.
It could have been a lot better.
Did Tamara get a minor action?
She didn't. If you've got a minor action you would like to take, Nell,
Why
you can
would she
do.
get a minor action for being hit?
That's right. She was the target, not the attacker.
Oh, that was my turn. Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon.
It's all right. I nearly made the same mistake when you said it. Right. Okay. It is the batty
Reload.
creature that could be anything. You're not falling for this now, are you? You really know what this is by now, surely. So it is. I just need to find where I've.
So
hidden
start
it.
singing dinner, 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 dinner.
Okay, it's going to make an unarmed attack against you to start with. It's going to slash you with its claws in an attempt to knock you from the ceiling. It doesn't know that it's not going to be as easy as that. So, it will. Nearly roll the damage first. That would have been a touch unfair. 19, I'm going to say that's probably a hit, yeah?
Yeah, that's a hit.
Right, so it slaps Mog right across the face with its claws out. Its claws are sort of screeching as they go across Mog's horn and tusk, but it does tear a chunk out the side of her face as well. Which, unless it's treated correctly, will scar. But if it is... I was going to say if it is treated correctly, it won't scar, but Mog being Mog's probably going to want to keep the scar. Okay, so that was actually not a terribly good amount of damage from the beastie. However, next time I will have more sense and make its more powerful attack, I think.
Oh no.
So, it is Mog to retaliate.
Who's gonna laugh and swing her axe at him again.
Okay. So, Force Perspective comes out of nowhere and slams the creature right full in the chest. Roll the damage.
Ooh, a hit. Is it?
Oh, it surprised me as well.
What was it?
Its dexterity is 4.
Mine's 2, so I don't get the extra dice.
You don't, I'm afraid, no.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, that wasn't great.
Damage is 9. Let's just take a look and see what its armor is. 4, so 5 points of damage get through. It's now the creature's turn to laugh. Its laugh is... Oh, shit. I accidentally reduced it to 5 instead of by 5. That would not have been a laughing matter. So you thwack it in the chest and it kind of cackles, that horrible clack and...
I'm also going to move back a square.
Right, you are. Not feeling so tough all of a sudden. Okay, right.
No, that's not it.
Okay, if you say so.
If I
Okay.
wanted to run away, I could go all the way around the corner,
You could,
know?
I know, I'm just winding you up. Okay, so it is this undead beastie up here. It's going to have to advance down the corridor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can get to there and then it's halted by Tamara. However, it can get an attack in at Tamara. I'll just turn it to face. And Walking Dead, attack against Tamara. 12. It's another case of it wouldn't have hit you if you could have parried with his shield. Unfortunately, because you've got your bow in your hand at the moment, it has managed to hit you. So Tamara takes another hit, this time for only 3 points of damage. So remember to take your armor off that 3 first, which might not actually leave any damage to take. I don't know. So moving on, it is this undead here who will advance into the bottleneck that you've all created, and there's nothing more it can do. Now it's Tamara to go.
Okie dokie. Hang on. Where are we? Right, yeah. I'm going to take my sword and start slashing away at the creature opposite me.
Right, you are. Dropping your bow, you draw your sword with one hand and slide your shield off your back and onto your arm with the other. Your defense has now gone back up to your 12. Make an attack roll against the surprisingly large-looking undead.
Big targets.
Yeah. 15, that's a hit. You've also scored 4 points of stunts. It's about time somebody in this fight caused some stunts. So I'll just pop up the list of combat stunts for you to select from. And you can choose up to 4 points worth. They're not armed, so there's no point in disarming them. They won't respond to it.
I would go for dual strike because you can hit the other one as well.
You could go for dual strike or mighty blow, or there's no point in taunt or threaten.
Yeah, I'll go dual strike, I think.
Okay, make your damage roll then.
You need to make 2 damage rolls and apply it. One to the first, one to the
You
second.
do, yeah. Because you don't need to re-roll to hit the dual strike. automatically hits both. So the first one takes 10 points of damage. If you make a damage roll again, and we'll see how much the second one takes. The second one takes even more. The second one takes 12 points of damage.
Just want to check something on the warrior. What level's Tamara?
3, I think.
So level 3 warrior. Level 3 warrior gets you.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be more than that. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's level 5 where the stunt bonus comes in.
Yes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Tamara's not 5th level. I'll just pop her up to have a look, but I think she's 3rd.
Yeah.
You are 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were 5th, you could reduce that by 1 point to make dual strike only count as 3.
Yeah.
And you could probably push one of them back as well.
Yeah. So that's worth thinking about for when you get up to that level. But right now, you've damaged both of these creatures. Your sword blow to the first one has hit it again in the sternum. The sternum cracks but doesn't shatter. 2 of the ribs detach. And before you can really take much of a look, you spin and slice into the other one's skull, knocking the jaw off its hinge slightly. So it's now swinging just from one side. The lower mandible swinging just from attachment at one side. Wish I hadn't said that. I've just realised that now can't bite. But never mind. Okay, so this one is now going to advance into this bottleneck, but can't get anywhere near you because of the ones in front. This one, again, you've bottlenecked the enemy now, so they can't do their mob attacks, and they're queuing up, waiting to get at you. So I think they're going to be in trouble.
To undie.
To undie, yeah. Okay, Courage, you to go.
I'm pretty much at the end of the initiative roster, aren't I?
More or less, yeah.
There's only one after me.
There is only one after you, yeah. And
it's not one of the skeletons at the front, is it?
It is one of the skeletons at the front, yes.
Oh, it is?
It's the one beside most, well...
Yes, it's the one square on to Tamara. So, of the 2 at the front, it's the one furthest north, yeah.
There's 3 of them, it's the one in the middle.
From the behaviour that I've noted from them up to now, are they more likely to concentrate on Tamara now that she's their target?
Yes.
Or... Right, so they're not going to be coming for me.
I wouldn't say they're not going to be, but they're much less likely to be. Also, because of that bottleneck, they can't swamp you in the same kind of numbers you got swamped at the first time.
Well, being a crocodile, I don't mind being swamped.
Oh. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Did you feel drained after that? Vampires over there, though.
Yeah.
Let's not get bogged down.
Oh God's sake! Just make a decision about what you're doing.
Right. Can I charge from there, or is it not sufficient?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'll allow that.
There's a gap on that square. Effectively, it's majority of it's empty.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say you can charge from that. Go for it if you want to.
So you may move up to half your speed. You don't have to move up to
no,
half
that's
your
right.
speed.
That's right.
Count.
That's right.
Right, okay. So that's a +1 to the attack roll.
Okay. Make your attack. Move your token up and make your attack. Actually, yeah, there you go. I'll just move it.
You know what the skeleton's mistakes was, don't you?
What's that?
Well, they're all grinning, aren't they? And what should you never do?
Never smile at a crocodile.
That's true, yeah. Okay, so I'm on the wrong thingy there. So it is Courage to make his attack, and that's a hit. And it is a hit, what is more, with 2 points of stunts.
Oh, lovely. Right. Now, I don't often get to use combat stunts, so...
Do you need me to pop them up, or have you got your...
I've got them right in front of me.
Yeah, no problem. Just moving that out of my way.
I think I'll take a mighty blow, please.
By all means do.
Might.
Yep, take the extra damage dice for it.
Mm-hmm. So, that's now 3d6 plus 4 for my bite. Yeah. So charge doesn't up the damage, does it? It only ups
Just
the
gives
hit.
you the +1 to hit. Yeah.
Gives you the +1 to hit.
Okay.
Because you're attacking a frenzy.
Ooh. That's 11 damage. Would you just like to ping which of the 2 it is you've just bitten?
Okay, I was really going for the. I was
This
actually
one?
on top of that one.
Yep, you were. I just moved you back slightly
that was
so I could see
that
you.
was my intention. Yes.
Yep, okay, so you come rushing in, and as that creature's attacking Tamara, you snap your jaw shut around its lower rib cage and do massive amounts of damage. There's massive amount of bone splintering off. Your mouth is now full of sharp shards of bone. Luckily, you're a crocodile. You're used to dealing with that sort of thing. And you have dealt 11 points of damage past its armour. So, hang on. Come here. There you go. So that's minus 11. Yeah, you've destroyed most of the rib cage, and you've caused radial cracks out through the sternum as well. So you think another decent blow on that and it's gone. Okay, so the other undead, the one that's facing Tamara directly, is going to have an attack on her. Now her defense has gone up to 12 because she's got her shield out.
Oh, hang on.
And it has missed her.
Sorry, the charge counts as a minor, as a major action. Sorry, meaning I still have a minor left.
You've still got a
Yes.
minor left, yeah.
Oh,
So
back in then.
you're going to pull back, yeah. Okay, so
Let's move.
Tamara brings her shield up in time as this creature bites the edge of her shield, trying to get at her, and she easily wards that attack off. So next combat round, and it's Alderan to go.
It's definitely another shot up the thing there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot the one which is most immediate target closest to me.
This one?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be that one.
Okay, you knock an arrow, bring your bow up, and thwang, roll it.
It's like shooting skeletons in a corridor. I can't miss.
Ooh, that's a 22 to hit with 5 stun points.
I quite literally cannot miss if it only requires an 8 to hit them.
Yeah. Okay, so pick your stunts and roll your damage. You can do that in whichever order you like.
God, stunts.
You get the extra damage as well because their dexterity is considerably lower than yours, so you can use your pinpoint attack.
Focuses. What my powers? Sorry. Pinpoint attack, rogue's armor, scouting, pierce armor, dark sight, archery style. I keep forgetting about this.
Yep.
Yeah. That's within 6 yards, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Anything within 6 yards gains another point of damage to it. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, and you get your extra dice of damage as well because of your pinpoint attack. The chances are you'll kill that then, if you can do 10 points of damage to it.
I'll do a minimum of 11.
Okay, so that...
No, sorry, minimum of 10 would kill that one.
Yep.
However...
you've still got 5 points of stunts to deal with as well.
5 points of stunts.
So we're not bothered to roll a damage on that one because you can't fail to kill it. So that first shot hits the thing square through the eye socket and shatters the skull. And
Dual strike then, surely.
Your attack is so strong it affects 2 targets. First, pick a secondary target. This target must be adjacent to you if using a melee weapon or within 6 yards of your primary target.
yeah, so it could go through and
one
hit
behind.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more
Actually, from that, it would be that one from your angle. I was drawing the line from Courage. So yes, it would be the one with the beast folk skeleton if you did choose that.
See, pinpoint attack. Yeah. If I don't do the pinpoint attack on the first one, and I just roll the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, providing the dice roll is that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first one down.
But does that actually... It only had 6 hit points left.
Yes.
Yeah. So then the pinpoint attack would hit the second one.
Yep.
For 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage to the second one, so that's 7 through its armour.
For the dual strike.
7. So the arrow goes straight through the eye socket of the first one, shattering the skull. It hits the second one in the top of the skull as well. Some of the damage is is caused to the actual horn, which is broken off. Still pretty damaged, you think? It could probably survive another hit of that type, of that power,
Yeah,
but...
that's a +1 damage on top of what's actually there.
Right, and another +1.
It's within 6 yards. And that still leaves me with a stunt point.
Yep.
Which I'll go for a rapid reload.
Yeah, okay. So you put an arrow straight through one skeleton into the next and rapidly reload your bow, knocking another arrow ready to go again. Next up is the, let's not be coy, this is a Thrall vampire that's attacking Mog. It's going to drop from the ceiling, spread its bat-like wings with a whoosh, and come screeching in with an ear-splitting sonic shriek as it sweeps in to attack Mog. This time it's going to take you a bit more seriously than it did the last time. So, chomp. Oh, 19 with 5 points of stunts.
It's in a bit of a flap.
It's in a bit of a flap. It's annoyed because you hit it, and then it didn't seem to care much about the damage it did to you. So,
It's another thing trying to bite me.
it is trying to bite you as it happens.
This is a friend.
I'm trying to decide if it's going to want to do a vampire bite, which would risk turning you into a vampire. And I don't think it's keen to do that. Because it just increases the pressure on the number of kills that this colony has to make. So...
My teeth are big enough as it is.
And your
Let's
teeth
be
are big
honest.
enough as it is, yeah. It is going to pierce your armour, knock you prone, which is a bit of a problem because that's going to knock you off the ceiling.
It is.
So that's 2 points of damage. That's 2 points of stunts spent. That leaves it with 3. So it is also going to seize the initiative. So it seized the initiative. We'll take it up to... Let's just see now.
Can it do that for 3 points?
It can do that for 2 points.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So seize the initiative. Seize the initiative. There we go. You move to the top of the initiative order. Right. Okay. So let's deal with the damage it's done you first, shall we? So the initial bite has done 10 points of damage. Then plummeting from the ceiling is probably not as...
That's when you activate your cat tattoo.
probably not as serious as you're worried it might be. So it is... 2 days of damage. 3 more points of damage from the fall.
Okay.
You can take your little feather off now because you're now grounded.
Yep. But Mom!
Not that kind of grounded. Don't forget that attack was armor piercing as well, by the way.
Got it.
And it has seized the initiative. Oh, and you're prone, so you can put a little prone marker on yourself as well.
Which one are we using as the prone marker?
The guy that's fallen over. And I need to move
Oh, there it is.
this guy up
More of
to...
these than I thought it was.
There's loads of them. Brian's added an extra set with the yellow heads.
Yes, the yellow heads, yeah.
Or black heads on the yellow background, I should say.
If you need me to do it for you, I can do it for you. There we go.
Right, yeah,
Right, you
I
are.
think I've just found it.
Yeah. Okay, so it is Mog to go. Dust yourself off and decide what you're going to do about this.
Yeah, is it like sort of flying above me kind of thing?
It is flying above you, so I'll put a little flying marker on to demonstrate that fact.
Is it still within reach though?
Actually, yes, because you're huge.
Excellent.
You're about 6'5" or something, aren't you? So
Yeah, I'm gonna stand back up and I'm gonna make another swing at it.
Okay, so I'll take your prone marker back
Prone
off.
marker that we just found.
Yes, straight back off again. You stand up and swing force perspective over your head, and you also stunt. That's a hit, and you've caused 2 points of stunts to the Thrall.
Yes, and I did a really big roll.
Or Thrall is probably the correct pronunciation, actually.
Chick thralls.
2 points.
But I'm a maverick and I don't care.
You could knock it prone
I
out
could,
of the air.
but it's probably what I'm gonna do because it doesn't have anything to disarm because it's using its claws. Yeah.
It is, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock it prone.
Right, okay. So you stand back up, angered by the audacity of this thrall vampire. You whack it right in the midriff with the axe with such force that it knocks it out of the air. It shrieks and hits the ground and skids a little bit as well. Not far, because you didn't do a pushback. So I'm going to put a prone marker on Fanny. There we go. 7
take any
points of
damage
damage
from
you did.
falling?
Yeah. It will. I'll give you a d6 extra damage for the fall. Yes. What's its armor? Its armor's also 4. So if you want to roll another d6 damage, Louise, for knocking it out of the air,
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Forgot about that.
that's okay. So that's
Then on your next
10
turn, you
damage
need
in total. So that's 6 coming off. That's
you need
minus
to,
6.
like, knee drop onto its neck.
Yeah. Okay,
Start through
so
your eye
you
socket.
and the Thrall vampire are in an epic battle over there. It's a bit surprised by this orc being quite as tough as this, actually. So, from Mog, unless you've used your minor action to stand up.
Yeah, I was getting out of prone.
So it's that undead which is a bit too dead to act. So it's this undead next who will advance into its space and will attack. Actually, I'm just going to remove that dead undead, if you know what I mean, so that I don't confuse the X on it with being on top of this one, which has just advanced into that space. So it's attacking Tamara with a claw attack. She brings her shield up, but this time it's expecting it and slices across her thigh underneath the shield. So Nell, Tamara's been hit again. She takes 5 points of damage minus whatever her armor rating is. And then it's her go. So she can get her own back if she wants, or she can attack the other one. It's up there.
Hey, I'm going to slash at the demon again.
Yep.
Whilst at the same time sort of like backing away slightly.
Yeah, okay. So you start pulling backwards into the bottleneck, realizing that there's a slightly narrower choke point you can get them to. At the same time, it's a fighting withdrawal, so you make your attack roll to hit.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Just roll to hit. The rest of it was just colour and flavour. Okay, that's a hit, and 3 points of stunts as well. So you can select up to 3 points worth of combat stunts, and I'll just pop the combat stunts up for you again. There you go.
You could do the extra attack
Mm.
with 3,
Yeah.
which means you could try and hit the other one as well.
Yeah.
That
would be a lightning attack if you did that.
Lightning attack.
Yeah, lightning attack,
Lightning attack, yeah.
which means make another attack roll.
So if you want to roll the damage for the one you hit first, and then you can make a second attack roll for the other one.
Yeah.
So that's 7 points of hit this one. 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 3 get through its armour. That's minus 3. Then make a second attack roll for the other one. That's 15, that's a hit, so you can roll damage on that one as well. And that's 7. Nothing if not consistent. 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 3 off that. Okay, so you slash your sword out across the front of the first skeleton, breaking a rib, hitting the second skeleton in the shoulder and fracturing its arm. Not severing it completely, but fracturing it. both of those skeletons now look a bit the worse for wear. They can probably take a little bit more punishment, maybe 2 more hits of that that degree before they go down, you think, you estimate. And up next we have...
Hang on. Tomorrow I wanted to move back.
Yeah.
Yeah, just move yourself back to wherever you want to move. Okay, yeah. There is... This guy can't really do anything from there, so he'll hold. That guy can't do anything from there. Well, he can actually. He can advance up that far. Just get rid of that dead one. So it is this one next, so it will advance down here. Again, because of that choke point you've created, there's not much more that you can do. That one can't go either. And it is Courage to go.
Right. I'll charge again into whichever one looks the weakest.
That would be the one at the top there.
Yep.
Okay, so you race forwards on your little stumpy crocodile legs and snap your jaws together.
Dangerous little stumps.
Yes.
Right.
Just move you back a little bit, otherwise I can't actually...
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Same reason I did it last time, really, was just so I can click on it.
Oh, right.
Okay, roll to hit.
So that's 3d6 plus 5 because I'm charging.
Yep.
Can't miss.
That's a hit with 3 points of stuns.
Fantastic. 3 points of combat stuns. Oh, I'll definitely take a lightning attack then.
Okay, so you bring your jaws shut on this one. Roll the damage for this one first.
2d6 plus 4. Yikes.
That's very poor. 6 points of damage.
It was.
Yeah, so -2 then by the time it gets through its armour. So you don't so much bring your jaws shut on that one, more you sort of ram it with your nose because you've just misjudged. As you do that, though, you turn into snap at the other one.
Actually, an interesting point is that you don't have to pick a different target.
Yeah, I'll let you pick the same one if you want to.
It's right. It's the first words in the stunt. It's interesting. We've always sort of assumed that was analogous to dual strike. That it had to be.
It's two separate. I was going to say Sean's definitely hit the same person twice with that stunt
right.
before.
I'll do a lightning attack on the same target then, as the first one wasn't very effective.
Oh, okay, adjusting your position and realising you'd kind of screwed that up a little bit, you snap again, make another attack.
Now, is that still with the +1 for charging or not?
Yeah, go on, I'll let that be the case. 17, that's a hit. No stun points this time, though. Just roll the damage.
Well,
wouldn't allow for stun points the second time around because it was generated by stunts.
By stunts, that's right.
Yeah. That's a bit better.
9 points of damage this time. So, for that, that's 5 through. Oh, that's quite serious. So, this time you grab it by the top of the thigh and part of the pelvis and bring your jaws together quickly. You fracture the thigh bone and the pelvis, and part of the pelvis comes away in your mouth. Not enough to cause the leg to fall off, but you definitely left this thing in a very bad way, so that even strong language would probably finish it at this point.
Fortunately, I can't speak. I hiss at it.
Okay,
with grim intent.
Okay, you hiss at it with grim intent, as crocodiles are wont to do. Would you like to make a minor action?
Yes.
You would. You would like to retreat. Okay, and it's going to follow you. This time it will go for you, actually, because you attacked it most recently. So, Walking Dead, attack with a claw. Oh, that's a hit with...
Can it get into my cranny?
Actually, it would struggle to get past Tamara, so it's going to have to hit her. Sorry, Nell. That's Glenn's fault. Don't blame him.
By my cranny, I didn't mean Tamara.
No, it's definitely going to have to attack her because she's kind of in the way. Can't really get past her to you. So, it's hit her. It's hit her with 5 points of stunts. Its most preferred stunt it can't actually do from there. It would be a swarm attack, but there's nothing else adjacent. It would just be wasting. Yeah. So it will skirmish her and knock her prone instead. So knock and prone. Oh, actually, if I do that, I can't. How many stunts have I got? Right. Forget knock prone. I'm just going to skirmish and then swarm, because what it's going to do is grab her and sort of throw her around over. It's 2 meters per stun point, so it's here. Poof. And now all of those skeletons are going to mob her as well. But first things first, it gets its damage. So Tamara takes 5 more points of damage now, remembering to reduce that by whatever your armor rating is. And all of the skeletons that are now adjacent to you. So it's kind of throwing you into there behind itself, and all these other skeletons are clambering over themselves to try and pull you apart. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them can attack. Let's make the rolls. That's a hit. That's a hit. That's a miss because of your shield. And the last one is a miss. So that's 2 more hits. So from the first of those, you take 7 points of damage, minus whatever your armor rating is. And from the second of those, you take another 3 points of damage, minus whatever your armor rating is. So I don't think the second one...
at least 4.
Yeah, I don't think the second one's likely to have done any damage, but you took some damage from the first one. So you've been thrown into then, all these skeletons are now mobbing you again, like you've seen from The Walking Dead. They're crawling over each other almost to get at you. And you could be in a bit of trouble here if people can't get you out of it, or if you can't fight your way out of it. Up next, I've actually got 2 undead that have never activated, so I am going to activate them.
Yep, saw those.
Yeah, random side, and let's just...
Actually, there's 3, but...
Oh, where's the other one?
Initiative.
There's 1 there. 1 there.
Yes, that spotted that one.
And this one.
Oh, yeah.
Random side, and that one still hasn't activated. So this one, multi-side, random side, that one has activated. So walking, come here.
That's one reason, so you can have that random activation.
Yes. Yeah, I just click them on random, so sometimes it will pick the pile of bones again, which means that they don't...
It's still down.
Yeah, it's still down. So I will reorganize this descending order, and it is Fangy to go. He's going to take one action minor action to stand back up, and then he's going to attempt to rend Mog limb from limb. I don't think he's actually capable of doing that in one combat round, mind, not unless he gets a catastrophic number of stunts, but he's going to give it a go. Bite. Actually, I think he might have missed. Is 11 a hit?
Let me just check. I think that's a miss. Yeah, that's a miss.
Oh dear. So he stands up, he lunges forward with his teeth clacking, and Mog just kind of leans back from the waist so that it can't hit her, and does exactly that, cackles at him, which isn't making him any less angry, it has to be said.
Vampires and their grudges.
Yes, it is Alderon to go next.
Well, I'm just going to have to shoot.
Yep.
I don't need that. Right. Get back to the front of my character sheet. Character.
Okay, that's a hit. You may roll a damage, and you can ping whichever one of the ones you want it to be applied.
So that'd be 13 against that one there.
It's gone. You shoot it straight through the centre of the skull, and it collapses into a pile of junk. Click. There we go. That was your...
Oh, hang on. No. That was the there would have been another D6 worth of damage on that, because I didn't roll a pinpoint damage, but...
Well, it's still going to be dead. You've killed it a bit more. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I know.
that one's gone. Do you have a minor action you would like to carry out?
I'll just reload at this point.
Okay, you knock another arrow, and this undead here is going to attack Tamara. So let's have a look. One dead, and claw, and that's a hit with 5 points of stunts. Oh, she's in serious trouble then, because it is going to use swarm tactics again, and it's going to knock her prone as well. So
Oh yay!
the weight of the attacks has now dragged her to the ground. She goes down and wonders kind of abstractly who it is that's doing all the screaming, and then realizes it's her as all of these undead attack. So this one, first of all, with the damage it does, boing, that's 6 points of damage from the first one, minus your armor, of course. And then 1, 2, 3. 3 more attacks to make. So let's have a look. This one.
This could be really, really bad.
Yeah, so that's a miss because of your shield. You just bet. You're prone now though, so it's like actually a hit. That's a hit as well. And that last one's a hit, so that's 3 more hits. So from the first hit, 3 damage, so your armor is going to absorb that. Your armor absorbs the next hit, and the one after that finds a gap, so that's 8 damage minus whatever your armor is, which I think you said was 4. So that's only 4 gets through. So the skeletons have pulled you to the ground. They're crawling over themselves to get at you. You can see teeth gnashing, claws rending. There's a bit of pain from across your arm where one of them's dug its claws in and ripped, and there's blood trailing across the place. You're in a bit of danger here because you're now isolated from the allies, brought to the ground and being mobbed by these creatures. Mog, you to go next.
Well, using the momentum from leaning backwards to then lean forwards again, I'm going to attack it with my axe.
Right, you are. Force perspective slams into. Ooh, actually, I think that might be just barely a miss.
Oh no!
It is. So it does what you did. It almost slammed into it, and it leans back from the waist just like you did, and cackles.
Just like you did.
Just like you did.
Anything you could do.
On a minor,
yeah.
I'm going to move back a little bit further and clamber
Hang
back
on.
to the wall.
Yeah,
Hang on a second.
okay.
Mog's a rogue. Pinpoint attack.
No.
That's
Yeah,
not going to help.
It only works if its dexterity's lower than mine.
Yeah.
And
Right,
its
okay.
dexterity
Also, it
is
only adds
Damage.
damage,
Yeah.
not
right.
to hit. Okay, so you step backwards and start crawling up the wall, and it is undead over here to go. It's going to make an attack on Tamara. So that's the thrall. That's the claw from. Oops, missed. The claw from this undead, and that's a miss. So what's up next? Tamara to go next. Now then. If you want to stand up, that will take your minor action. Or you can just try fighting from the ground, but the enemy will always get +1 to hit unless you're standing up. So it's up to you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna start at least like trying to crawl backwards.
Yeah. Okay.
So away from them.
Okay. We'll say you're crawling out from underneath. You'll be slashing your sword widely at them as well, so you can make an attack. And you can also move yourself up to half of your speed backwards. So if we just wait for that dice roll to come through, if you just want to make an attack with your sword. Right, there we go. That's 11. That's a hit against one of the undead, and it's a hit with 3 points of stunts as well. So I'm popping the stunts up again. At this point, because you've been mobbed, my suggestion, which you don't have to take, would be to try a lightning attack and hit twice. but it's up to
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, no, that seems
Okay.
sensible at this point.
Okay, roll the damage first of all, then, and then I'll have you do your second attack once we've dealt the damage to one of them.
I do have a suggestion for those stunts.
Mm-hmm.
You could skirmish. How much? Sorry, how many points of stunts did you get?
She's got 3.
3. Right, so you could take 6 yards worth of skirmish and get the hell out of dodge.
She can crawl back out of the way anyway with a minor action though, so she might be better. It's up to you.
Yeah.
You can use the points to skirmish yourself further back, or you can use the points to get a second attack. Which would you prefer?
The crawl would get you away, so you don't really need to skirmish yourself.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
And it would be one less opponent, potentially.
mm,
You need to do damage anyway.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll roll that
Yeah.
first.
Roll the damage while you're having a bit think. Okay, that's 9 points of damage against one of them. Just going to move you out of my way a little bit so I can see. Yeah, there's definitely nothing left on there. So I'm going to take the 9 damage to this guy. So that's 5 by the time it gets through his armor. So your sword slashes against one of the creatures and fractures some of the bones in its offhand arm. You can easily crawl out of the way, but you could use the skirmish points to crawl further, or you can use the skirmish points to make that second attack. Which would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna skirmish back.
Okay, move yourself up to 6 squares away from there then. And we'll say that you, instead of crawling, you'll have stood up, so I'll take that thing off you. So you can move yourself up to, well, you were originally here, so you can move yourself another 3 squares from where you're at the moment. And up next we've got okay, you seem to have moved yourself back to where you started.
You're trying to get away from them, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So my
To the east.
my laptop's
Right. Okay.
All right.
playing up.
Okay, I'll just move you a bit further back then, because you'll get to next to the elf.
You could actually
Thank
be
you.
behind me, in effect.
Yeah, you could actually.
Mhm.
So we'll put you back there since you've taken quite a pounding this round, and I can't see undead 11. So there he is. So he's going to swarm down here. 1, 2, 3. He's going to get to about there. This one is going to advance. 2, 3, 4, and he's gotten to Alderaan there. So he'll make an attack against Alderaan. And that's a 9, that's a miss.
Yeah.
So the next undead is here and makes the same mistake it made previously. It's bottlenecked itself behind his comrades. This one is now also bottlenecked. So yeah, they're just lining up at this point. Courage to go.
Okay. I'll charge that one.
Okie dokie. So this one that's advanced past your hiding place, you come scooting out and grab it, or try to grab it, make an attack roll.
I don't suppose there's any rules for ambush, is there? Because I could have sworn I saw something about ambush. I mean, this was from water, but just to ask the question.
Yeah, I'll give you +1 to ambush them, +1 to hit for the ambush.
It's a special quality. Ambush. Crocodiles are considered to have dexterity, stealth, focus when submerged, partially or fully.
Right.
So
I'll still give you a +1 to hit from there, because you're coming out of this dark tunnel from the flank. It's focused on the person directly in front. You've kind of blindsided it. Sorry, Sean, I slightly moved Alderaan there. There you go.
So that's +1 for being hidden for an ambush essentially.
Yeah, and +1 for a charge. Yes.
It's like a moray eel.
Yeah,
That filthy
exactly.
deep comes out, gets like
Well,
right
I,
to the
I
head.
needed that.
You
Thank you.
did need that because that was a
Yeah.
very poor roll, but you still
Desperate.
managed to hit. So
Well,
roll a damage.
therefore I stunned.
Yes, you do. 1 point of stuns.
Hmm.
That's amore.
Oh yeah, okay. I think I'll take a stay aware for that stunt then.
Okay, you take a stay away and
Mhm.
roll the damage. That's 9 damage you've done to this one. That's 5 by the time it gets past its armour. And that one's slightly damaged as you rush out and you don't quite manage to grip it properly, but you've hit it with such force that its bits of bone have cracked, some bits have turned into shards and dropped off. You haven't managed to grip it, but you've done enough damage that you're quite happy with what you've done there.
Right. So to stay aware, that's a target number 11
Mm-hmm.
perception test.
Yes.
My perception being 1 in this form.
Okay.
I have the focus of smelling if that would be relevant.
Yes, go on. I'm going to allow that. Although actually,
Yeah.
with all the guano shedding lots of ammonia, no, I'm not going to allow that.
That's fine.
Um,
So target number was 11. I got a 12. If you succeed, the GM may either make you aware of some battlefield situation that has so far escaped your notice, or give you a +1 bonus to the next test you make.
I'll give you +1 to the next test you make.
Thank you.
That would be this beastie here now. That's going to advance into position to try and attack Courage.
No.
Did I get my minor to get back?
No, but you can do that now.
All right. Well, I've been retreating to roughly about here, just sort of inside where it's very confined.
Yes. So it's going to try and advance. Oops, it is. It's trying to move a
No,
corpse
that
there.
one's already gone, Brian. That's got an initiative of 9.
Yeah, it's the dead one that's...
Dead one was
This is
there.
why I've been deleting the dead ones that were on the same squares as living ones. Well, not living ones, but you know what I mean. Okay, so it's back round to the next round. So just before we start it, I'm going to see if this one activates. Yep, this one's finally activated. So, Walking Dead, initiative roll. And we will reorder. And it is the...
Flappy McFlapface.
Flappy McFlatface, yeah. Which is now really angry at this impudent orc, which is now climbing up the walls. He's going to streak in with an aerial attack and try and claw you, because it can't really bite you as you're in a sort of confined thing. So, unarmed attack. 15, that's a hit, I think.
That's a hit, yeah.
Yeah. So he has done you 7 points of damage.
Okay.
So his claws rake across your calves this time. I can't quite remember what your armour is, but it'll mitigate that a bit.
My armor is 4.
4. So it's only 3 points got through, so that's not even going to permanently scar.
Nah.
Okay, so Sean, it's Alderan to go next.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to keep pumping arrows into these.
Yep. So that's 22 with 4 stun points.
Well, So the first one takes, the one which is closest,
Yep.
takes a total of 11.
Takes a total of 11, so that's 7 gets through its armour. So that hits it in the sternum. The sternum breaks and some of the ribs go with it, but it hasn't completely fallen apart yet. It's looking rough though.
And then the one behind it
Yep.
takes also 11 damage.
Also 11 damage, okay. That's just a 4 off there. 7, sorry. Mind went a bit blank there because I was hearing some very odd noises from outside and thought it might be the problems we've been having again. until I realised it was the dogs from across the way have all started barking at the same time. Which means Richard's nipped out for a cigarette and they got overly excited. Okay, so that was Alderan. If you have a minor action, you may take it.
I'll just stand firm.
Okay, standing firm. It is Mog to go next.
Mog still in the middle of battling this vampire guy and not letting go.
Yep.
He's going to swing forced perspective at him again.
Okay, Mog swings force perspective at the vampire guy and hits him this time, square in the right shoulder.
Ooh.
Okay, roll the damage.
Have some damage.
That's 8 damage, that's 4 gets through. That's -4 on his total hit points. He howls in rage, where he more sort of emits an odd shrieking sound in rage. Does Mog have a minor action she would like to do?
No, but she is gonna sort of laugh at him shrieking.
Right. As you bring force perspective into his shoulder in a shower of what's probably something else's blood that it drank earlier, you start laughing in this vampire's face, which is just enraging it more and more and more.
I was going to suggest if you stand firm,
Okay.
you get a save against knock prone.
Ooh,
That's
yeah, I
true,
forgot
actually,
to
you
do that.
do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, you want to stand
I will
firm.
stand firm from my bizarre plank stand that I'm doing on the side of the wall.
Right, you are. Okay, I'm going to use the exclamation mark to show that you're standing firm. So, up next we have one of the undead that's gotten itself trapped behind its comrades. So, it is Tamara to go again now. And from this safe position, you can either advance with your sword and shield, or you could swap to your bow. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to swap to my bow and start firing at the skeletons.
Right, you are. Okay, sheathing your sword and propping your shield on the ground so it's easier to grab if you need to grab it quickly. You grab your bow, knock an arrow, and thwang, fire. All that changing of weapons will have been your minor action for the round, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a very convincing hit. Roll the damage. That's a fairly good amount of damage as well. So this bow ploughs an arrow straight into the side of the creature's skull. It fractures but doesn't completely break the skull. And that's 4 points of damage got through its armour. So that one's quite badly damaged from that injury. And it will be that undead to go. It can't because people are in front of it. This one will probably now go after Mog.
Oh no.
So it's coming after you where you're attached to the wall. It comes in from behind. And that's the combat stun, so it's not what I'm looking for. I have lost my little thingy. Okay. That sounded terrible, didn't it?
It did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Walking Dead, there they go. Make an attack on Mog. And 15 with 6 points of stun, so that's a hit.
Oof, yeah.
It's raced in. It has bitten you in the ankle. So let's just roll the damage for that. Oh no, sorry, that was a claw it attacked with. So it's clawed you in the ankle for 7 points of damage. You can feel blood trickling down into your boot. And let's just see what it's going to do with the extra. You're standing firm. It's not likely to be able to push you back from that with your strength being a heck of a lot higher than its. So it's can't use swarm tactics from there either. So it's actually just going to do extra damage. Yeah, I thought you'd be pleased. So another 2 points of damage, 2 dice of damage rather. So instead of taking 6, you actually took. Sorry, instead of taking 7, you actually took 13 minus your armor. Yeah, that's quite bad, isn't it?
That's your Achilles tendon for you.
Yeah. Okay, so this undead here is going to make an attack against Alderan. And 11, I don't think that's going to be a hit.
No.
Didn't think so. That one can just about squeeze past. It's going to come down and try and get to Courage. And it misses. This one is also going to have to go after Morg, otherwise it's just going to join that queue. So it comes around this flank.
No, please join the queue. Polite skeletons, polite English skeletons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guano's not slippery, is it?
It is a little bit, yeah. In fact, I will allow a skirmish or a knock prone against anybody who's standing on guano at 1 stunt point less than it would normally cost, to a minimum of 1. Okay, so it's going to attempt a claw Morg. And it's, I think, missed with a 12.
Yeah, that's a miss.
That's a miss, okay. This undead's going to advance into the queue. This undead is going to advance into the queue. Courage to go.
I will bite the one that's directly in front. I don't think I can charge from this distance, can
No,
I?
you can't, because it's directly in front of you, so you just have to attack it normally with no bonuses.
Right, then the +1 that I'll get then will be from the stairway that you gave me last round.
It will, yep. And that's a hit. Oh, sorry, no, I'm looking at...
I haven't rolled yet.
I'm looking at my last roll. I just looked away. I thought I heard the bloop, and I looked back.
He's trying to jinx it.
Oh, yeah. No, that is a hit.
Good.
No stunts, though.
No. 2d6 +4.
That's 13 damage. -4 for its armor, so that's 9 damage. Your jaws slam shut around the creature's arm. As you tug at the arm, the bottom part of it comes off in your mouth. So it's now lost its right arm, but it can still attack with its left.
Minor action.
Minor action, yeah.
This whole area, this whole cranny is about 3 feet high, yeah?
It's 2 meters at this end, and it gets narrower and lower as it runs back.
Right, well, just reversing down here then. It's like, come and get me.
Right.
Be at a disadvantage, why don't you?
Yep, it can't actually stand up and get down there. It would have to start crawling, so we'll bear that in mind next time. We're round to the next combat round, and I'm going to call a quick bathroom break. So if everybody would like to either put a kettle on or dash to the bathroom, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes' time. And while we are, I'm just going to mute the recording.
in your turn.
Okay.
I can't see where you're at, Louise, but my advice is if you can manage it at all, if you need that kind of help, if it's getting into those kind of dire straits,
I'm not quite there yet.
Okay, folks.
Before you do, sorry, Brian, go on.
That's me back from the bathroom. Has everybody else returned?
Yep.
Brilliant. So it is Bitey McFangface to have another go at our orc. So let's just say we're off.
If you unmute the recording.
I have unmuted the recording, yes.
Cool.
So the Thrall vampire is attacking Mog with a claw. That's a hit with 2 points of stunts. So let's have a look. What's its favourite stunt in all the world? Its favourite stunt in all the world would be to seize the initiative, but it's already at the top. So it's going to pierce your armour and attempt to knock prone. But didn't you say you'd stood firm?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm stood firm.
Right, so that could prove problematic for it then, although maybe not. Well, you're both quite strong, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So I just need to refresh my memory on exactly which ones we clash with here. So stand firm.
Stand firm. It's an opposed test pitting their strength might versus your choice of your own strength might or dexterity acrobatics.
Right, you are. So it's
So
strength.
attack is strength might.
I knew the attacker was strength might, but couldn't remember what the defender was. But apparently, Louise, you get the choice: strength might or dexterity acrobatics to defend.
Are you stronger than dexterity? Has he got more strength than dexterity?
They're both exactly the same.
Do you have might or acrobatics as a focus?
I don't have either as focuses.
Just click
So
either
it's your
one.
choice.
Probably take one.
Sorry?
Should probably take one.
You probably should. Okay, so he has to beat 16 in order to knock you prone. Let's see if he can do that. I thought he had might and he hasn't.
Don't.
16 is a draw.
Yeah, I got higher stunts.
Yeah, I'm going to let
Right.
that be the deciding factor then. So he's tried to force you off the wall to drop down in amongst his lackeys down there. He has failed. He did, however, still hit you with armor piercing, and so your armor only accounts to half the normal against his 5 points of damage. Oh, that was quite poor. Has he just rolled a 1 then? Has he? Yeah, he has. Okay, so 5 points of damage. Your armor's half what it would normally be, and that's the baddie done. So, Alderin, you to go next.
It's going to have to be the longbow.
Yep.
Can't not be the longbow.
21 with 6 points of stunts.
Ooh, misses. That's nasty. Yeah. Which does mean that then, yeah, so I can do that dual strike side of things at that point with the longbow. Yeah, so effectively the skeleton which is here.
Yep.
Let me think. With 6, right. So if we do that, and that, right. So it takes an extra d6 worth of damage because I'm going to do lightning attack.
Right, you are. Okay.
So I'm just firing this as it is. Yep. So that first one takes a total of 17 damage.
And it's gone.
Right. Just need to adjust this back to what it is. And then I will rapid reload.
Yep.
Which is what I should do. And then I'll make an attack against the next one, which is adjacent to me.
Okay.
Which is a 17, which hits it.
That's a hit.
And it takes a whopping 9 points of damage.
Okay. So you hit that one. The first one, you hit it right in the neck and blow the spinal column apart. Its head drops off. The rest of it collapses and shatters. Then you knock an arrow, spin and shoot this one. It hits it in the pelvis because you've not brought the bow up high enough as you've spun. It has, however, fractured the pelvis. The thing doesn't look like it's going to last much longer. In fact, if you shout too loud, there's a very good chance that'll finish it off.
And then I'm standing firm again.
And then you're standing firm again. So it is Mog to go. Louise.
Right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm now scrambling up onto the ceiling rather than the wall so that I'm out of
range of the two skeletons. Yeah.
And then I'm going to take another attack on Flappy McFlapface, and I've just missed, haven't I?
14's a miss, I'm afraid, yeah. Very narrow miss, but it is a miss. And you're no longer standing firm. Okay, so you swing at the creature. It's flying about, and it's just too quick. It just dodges underneath your axe. It stopped laughing, though, because it's aware of the fact you've done it a lot more damage than it's used to taking, so it's not finding this anywhere near as funny as it was before. Okay, so that skeleton's trapped. Yeah. Tamara, you to go.
Okay, yeah. I am going to just continue firing arrows.
Okie dokie. You knock another arrow if you'd just like to make a attack roll with your bow. And that's a hit with 4 points of stunts. So I will just pop the stunts up again for you. There. So 4 points of stunts would give you an option for things like seize the initiative, which means you would go first. Dual strike, which would allow you to hit the skeleton behind the one you target.
Quick thing there. You can't do a dual strike with a longbow with 4 stunts. You need 1 for a rapid reload.
Yes, that's right. You would.
Apologies, we did it slightly wrong earlier.
Yeah.
You would have to make a lightning attack.
Yes, that's quite right.
To do a
so you could do a lightning attack, which would allow you to. Actually, no, wait a minute. Just strike.
You can shoot a second target.
Just a minute. No, dual strike you could do because you apply the same attack roll as the first one. It's the lightning strike you'd have to reload for.
Right, so it's like shooting through 2 things.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, you could shoot straight through one and hit the one behind it if you wanted to by using all 4 points for a dual strike. You could try a rapid reload and a lightning strike, which would allow you to shoot 2 different ones. So essentially it does the same thing, or the same one twice. Or
it's not quite because of the pluses.
Yeah.
To damage.
Or
and the difference in armor.
Just do additional damage with a mighty blow if you wanted to.
I think I'm going to go for dual strike.
Okie dokie. So you shoot one and you automatically hit the one standing directly behind it as well. So from there you're going to hit this one, which is undamaged, and this one, which is very badly damaged. So roll the damage for the one at the front first. That's 10 points of damage. That is quite good. That 6 gets past its supernatural defense. And if you'd like to roll damage again to see how badly damaged the one behind it is, that's 6. So that's only 2 gets through, but it doesn't look like it can put up with much more of that. So you bring up your bow, you knock an arrow loose, it hits the first one in the chest, knocking some of the vertebrae askew a bit and taking out one of its ribs. It goes straight through and hits the one behind it and fractures one of its bones as well. Nicely done. Now then, it is that undead who's currently bottlenecked. Then that undead, which currently can't reach Mog. Then that undead, which is now going to have to try and make its way down here against Courage. I need to put a marker on to show that it's on the ground. It will effectively be prone because it's lying down and clawing at you, which means you will automatically get +1 to attack it
Awesome.
when your rounds come up. It is now going to make an attack against you. Did that go?
Failed to hit.
Yes, it did. That's a 9. That's a fail to hit. So that's that one done. And it's that one that can't reach Morg. Then it's this one next, which will close in on Alderan and attempt an attack. 9, that's a miss.
Laughs an elf.
Then it's this one, which is going to advance to here, and then squeeze past to there, and that's about as much as it's going to be able to do. Good, you to go.
Okay. I can't charge from where I am.
Nope.
So, minor action. I reverse for a bit.
Right.
Major action.
Charge. Yeah, okay.
Still gives you +2 anyway.
Yep. Gives you +2 to hit.
Oh, actually, I was going to do an all-out attack, I think.
Yes, you can do an all-out attack instead if you prefer.
Right, I want to double check that I know that's a +1 to damage and a -1 to my defense. So +1 to hit from him being prone, +1 to damage for it being an all-out attack.
Right, okay. So this very angry bear man, currently disguised as a crocodile, is doing a bizarre combination of hissing and growling, whilst going completely, just to add a third animal into the mix, ape shit. And roll to hit. That's a hit with no stunts at all. I misread the 3 as a 5. So that's a hit though. So roll the damage. Remember to add 1. Just move you so I can get at the soon to be dead, I suspect. Bloody hell.
16.
Marvelous.
Okay, describe how you would like to completely disassemble this.
With vast chomping jaws, its head towards me as it's prone and crawling. I start to snap from the head and just work my way down the entire body, rendering it to splinters.
Right you are. You just smash it to splinters as you render your jaws, like crush its skull, then its shoulders, then its chest, then its pelvis, then its legs, and the end is just like 2 little feet sticking out of the crocodile's jaws and just shards of bone across the entire floor. Too small to ever be reconstituted into an undead. However, very useful for whitening bread at this point.
If you're a giant.
If you're a giant, yes. For those who don't know, that genuinely is how they used to make white bread originally. Okay, so it is the next combat round, and it is this very angry vampire who's hissing something in a dialect you don't quite get. It's definitely speaking Flanige, but it's speaking it in a dialect that's making it difficult for you to understand. But it appears to be something insulting about your parentage.
He speaks Swansea then.
And he is going to try and rend you limb from limb again. That doesn't seem to have rolled for some reason. Let's try that again. There it goes. That's 16. That's a hit with 2 points of stunts. So it's not. Yeah, go on. It's going to attempt another knock prone and an armor piercing. So we'll start with a knock prone attempt, Louise. If you would like to resist, you've got to beat 12 with either your strength or dexterity. Louise? Ah, there we are. Okay, so Mog easily dodges out of the way of that creature's... well, not dodges out of the way, it easily fends off its attempts to rip you off the wall. You did actually get hit, though, and you take... This is, with armor piercing, 5 points of damage. Okay. Louise, are you on mute?
Request a gun, we've got lots of money on it.
Because I can't hear you at all, Louise. Okay, we appear to have lost...
Sorry, I was on mute.
I thought you must be, yeah. I thought this is the quietest.
Alright,
This is the
talking away to
longest.
nothing now.
Yeah.
What I said was,
Mhm.
Mog still manages to spit back. Are you talking about your own mother there?
Right, you are. And it is Alderan to go.
Well, looks like it's going to be more longbow death destruction.
Yep. Roll to hit. 13, 3 points of stuns.
Can't do that, can I? Okay. That nearest skeleton to me. No. Let's see. Which one is it? It's going to be this one.
Yeah.
The lower one, the one with the horns on it.
Yeah.
It's going to take 15 points of damage.
Okay. That's 11. Okay, so you shoot that at close range. The arrow goes straight through its temple and out the other side. The arrow is now lodged in its skull, but the thing just kind of turns to look at you.
And it takes another point of damage.
Okay.
And it moves. It's knocked backwards to here.
Okie dokie. It staggers backwards under the weight of the blow. It's still active, but barely. So that would be. Have you anything else to do?
I'm standing firm again.
Standing firm. Right, you are. Morg, you to go.
I've just realised I have the healing balm, which is really handy. And if nobody objects, I'm going to use one of the smaller doses of it.
Okay.
You're going to do like a Brute 33. Splash it all over.
Splash it all over. So that's an activation action, which will leave you with a minor after you've done that.
Okie dokie.
You scoop. Actually, I suppose you've got to retrieve it from a pouch as well, so I'll take that as your minor. So you root round and bring the healing balm out. You stick two big chunky orc fingers in, get a decent dollop of the healing balm out and start slapping it on your wounds. Make the appropriate roll and recover that amount of health.
Oh, that's a pretty decent one then.
Okay, so it is this undead here that you've now made space for by pushing that one back. So it's going to try and get into here. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it does make it down to Courage, but it's going to have to lie prone to make an attack. So, because we know how well that went for them last time. There's the prone marker there. Let's just make an attack as it tries to claw Courage's crocodile snout. And I think that's a hit.
It is.
It is a hit. And with 3 points of stunts, can't use swarm tactics from there. Can't really knock a crocodile any further prone than it already is. So, let's have a look. We will make a armor piercing attack. So only half of your armor counts against this attack. Okay. So it's managed to reach into your mouth and start clawing at the tongue and the soft palate.
Not my mouth, my teeth was there.
That's 5 points of armor piercing damage.
That's not a good place to be.
It's not really.
Stick my arm in the crocodile's mouth.
Yeah, well, it is undead. They're not upright.
I take like half. I have half my normal armor.
Half your normal armor, yes.
So
it's 2.
Yeah.
So I take 3 damage.
3 damage. Yeah, that's right. And now it's Tamara to go. What would you like to do?
Yep. I'm just continuing to fire arrows.
Okie dokie. Make another roll to attack with your bow. That's 14, that's a hit. Roll the damage. That's 8 points of damage. That's 4 gets through its armour, or its supernatural armour. So, you fire a shot with your bow, it hits the thing in the pelvis and cracks a splinter of bone off, slowing it down a little bit and damaging it, but not as much as you would have liked. And it's this undead to go. It's kind of bottlenecked there. Now this one still can't reach Morg. This one still can't reach Morg. This one will attack Alderin again.
It's probably hit me this time.
Nope, 8. It just slashes the air in front of you, and again you just lean backwards and watch its claw just pass through empty air where you were standing but a second ago. This one's going to advance in and squeeze down to there. And Courage, you to go.
Okay. Worked well last time, so backing up.
Yep. Well, it didn't, because you didn't do that in the end. You made an all-out attack.
Oh, that's right, yes. Meaning I still had a minor action left.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
So you could have moved back and charged this turn.
Well,
yeah, you could.
It's either a charge or an all-out attack.
I think all-out attack went down quite well this time, so give it a go.
And he's prone, so
he is prone, so you get +1 against him.
Yeah.
So you don't really need the charge, effectively.
Yeah.
16. That's a hit. 3 points of stuns.
Nice. Okay, 3 points of stuns. They do have armor, don't they?
They don't have armory armor. They have 4 points of supernatural armor.
So, well, does pierce armor work against them?
Yeah, it will work. Yeah.
Right.
Essentially, that supernatural armor is accounting for the fact that there's parts of them that aren't actually there. So, it's more a case of you passing. Your attack partly hits air.
Space, yeah.
So yes, I'm going to allow armor piercing to work against it. Yes.
Thank you. Not a relevant question this time around, just a question in general.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take the same stunt more than once?
No.
Depends on the stunt, but usually not.
Right.
If you can, it will specifically tell you that you can.
Okay. So that was an all-out attack, so +1 damage. So that's pierce armor.
Yep.
Which you've just done on me,
Yep.
and I'll take another stay aware.
Okie dokie, you may stay aware, which I'll give you a +1 for your next test after the damage roll. So if you
Lovely.
roll the damage. Bloody hell.
14.
Describe how you would
What was
like to
that?
destroy this one.
Was that
Fantastic.
+1?
It was already in my mouth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Opening my jaws to the absolute maximum that the space will allow, and smashing them down with unrelenting force.
Okay, your jaws come together with such force that the entire skeleton just shatters. You wind up with its skull in your mouth, which you don't quite choke on. You're quick-witted enough to spit that back out, causing it to shatter when it hits the wall. The shoulder blades and the upper chest are all just broken apart by the impact of your jaws clamming together like a bear trap, or indeed like a crocodile's jaws. And that's it. Deceased again. So it is the Thrall vampire to attack against the rather annoying orc, but it's now started laughing again because it's seen you applying this healing balm. So that's given it the idea that perhaps it's nearly got you. So it's going to attempt a bite attack this time. It's slightly less good at, but does a lot more damage. 14 a hit.
I think that's a hit. Yeah, that's a hit. But what if that was just a clever ruse?
Well, indeed. So it
Still,
swings in against you, hits the wall, digs its claws into the wall, and then its teeth into your shoulder as you're trying to apply this healing balm. It's done 13 points of damage.
Can I flick it in the nose?
what you do is you dip your fingers in the healing balm and then you poke it in the eyes. like Three Stooges style.
Right. Okay, so 13 points of damage to Morg is the thingy's attack, and it is Alderan to go next.
It's going to have to be another longbow of death.
Okie dokie, there's not many of these undead left, I've just realised. They've gone from swarming everywhere to nearly finished. That's a hit. Roll the damage and ping which one you would like to shoot.
So 17 damage against that one there.
17 damage against that one there. That's that's 13. So it's minus 13 off it. Ooh, it's got 2 left. So you've shot it through the skull, through one of the eye sockets. Hasn't quite punched out the back. The thing's in an extremely bad way. A heavy shove would finish it at this point. What's your minor action?
Stand firm.
Stand firm. Morg, you to go.
Morg is going to shout, "Do you think infection control's funny? Do you?" And I think I've just accidentally double-clicked that in my haste. So please take the best one.
You did double click that one, but because you've amused me, I'm going to let you take the second one, which is a hit with 2 points of stunts.
Right, hang on. Where's my stunts? Here we go. There it is. I would like to try and knock it. Oh, no, actually, I would like to mighty blow.
Oh, right, yes, okay. Roll the damage and include the extra damage.
I'm going to.
Oh, shit. Right, okay. That's 11 points of damage. Okay, you've badly wounded it. You haven't killed it, but you've badly wounded it. I'll let you describe how you've wounded this creature.
Oh, okay. So I swung the axe and I distracted it with my cheek, clearly.
Yes.
And I caught it across the shoulder because it keeps going for my shoulders.
Yep.
And probably dug quite deeply in by the sound of it.
Yeah, quite deeply. Yeah, it's caused quite a lot of black blood to ooze out. Normally, if this was a living creature, that black blood would probably suggest arterial blood and, a potentially fatal wound. This thing isn't a mortal being, however, so you've very badly injured it, and it's hissing at you with a mixture of rage and, they don't feel pain, so it won't be pain, but rage, and you're not sure, but you think that might be just a touch of fear that it's starting to show. So, next up is Tamara.
Yeah, I am going to, I think, put the bow and arrows away and get my sword out again.
Okay, you switch to your sword, drawing the sword and picking the shield off the ground where you had it propped ready. It slides under your arm and you advance. I'll use that as your minor action. Your major action can be an attack with the sword if you'd just like to roll the hit.
Yeah.
18, that's an easy hit. You advance forward on the skeleton, thrust the sword forwards. In a quick motion, you manage to stab it. Roll the damage. Bloody amazed if you don't kill. Oh, God. Right, okay. You smash the sword straight through the faceplate of the creature's skull with such force that the skull just shatters, and you take it out instantly in one hit. So that's a delete on that one. And that's you done for the round, because you used your minor to switch weapons. So it is this walking dead now. Obviously doesn't have the sense it would have been born with the first time round, as it advances in against the person who's just shattered the face of one of the ones in front of it.
It's just narratively speaking, it's probably walking over an awful lot of smashed up skeletons at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of downed skeletons at that point. I've just been deleting them so that we could see what was going on. But yes, it's having to crunch over the bones of its fallen comrades to lunge towards you.
Perhaps a minus on the stunt points for knocking prone or skirmishing.
Don't push it. Yes, actually, I will allow that. I will say that if you do attempt to knock it prone or push it, the stunt points will be one less than usual to a minimum of 1. It, however, doesn't have the same bonus against you guys because you're on the other side of the pile. So rolling to hit Tamara with the claws. It's actually hit and caused 1 point of stunts for all that's going to do. So it just manages to claw past Tamara's shield and hits her for 5 damage with its claws. Remember to reduce that by your armor, which I think is 4. So that's 1 point of damage as it's just caught you on the side of the face and just nicked your cheek. And the 1 point of stunts. Let's see. There's not much I can do with that. It will... there's really nothing worth doing. So it won't. Yeah, I'm right. There's nothing that's worth its time doing with 1 stun point, so it won't. That undead still can't reach Mog, so nothing it's going to do. This undead here is now dropping prone and advancing down on Courage. I'll not bother to fit the prone marker because I don't think it's going to live long enough. But we will make an attack. And with a 14, I think that might be a hit.
It is.
Okay. So it reaches out to claw Courage and claws its snout for 3 points of damage. It's not going to get through your armor.
No, it's not. The armor piercing only counted for 1 attack. It doesn't nullify it thereafter, does it?
No, it doesn't
Right.
at all. It just means they managed to hit a bit there. The armor's not as complete. Okay, so Courage, you to go.
Okay. All out attack.
Yep. You only have to hit... I was going to say you only have to hit this one to kill it, but that's not strictly true. You could, if you rolled catastrophically badly, fail to kill it. 17, that's an easy hit. Roll the damage.
And it was no attack, so that's +1.
So as long as you don't get all one. Yeah, describe how you've killed this one.
As it comes and tries to beat me on the nose end and singularly fails, I snap its arm off.
Yeah.
Swing my head round in a wide arc and knock its head clean into the side of the cave using its shoulder joint.
So you literally beat it to death with its own arm.
Yes.
Beat it to death with the dry end.
Yes.
Based on Sean's earlier suggestion, yes.
Okay, so you bring your claws, you bring your jaws down on the arm and pull. It pulls the arm off and you spin your head round, hit it right in the side of the skull with its own shoulder joint, which has knocked the skull clean off and caused it to just disintegrate into more pile of bones. Next combat round, and at this point, this vampire doesn't know its forces are almost out. So yeah, I'm going to say it continues to press the attack, for now at least. So it will continue to attack Mog because it thinks it's just about got her. An attempt to bite again. That's another hit with 1 point of stunts.
Yep.
It's going to use armor piercing again.
A lot of 14s it's rolled.
It is, isn't it? So that's 10 points of damage with armor piercing. So it sinks its fangs into Mog's neck again and it sort of shakes its head so it's kind of ripping at your neck rather than it definitely wants you dead and not reanimated. Okay, and that's it gone. So it's Sean, it's Alderin to go next.
So basically, if it was to actually turn you into a vampire, you'd probably make it the throw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Is what it's thinking. It's thinking this orc's far too tough to be a vampire. It's better than me.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, bear in mind when I looked at the stats for vampires, I thought these things are tough for this party, and Mog is beating the shit out of one on her own.
Boom.
I mean, it's still got. No, well, maybe he's not beating the shit out of it. It's under half its hit points.
So this skeleton here just took 16 points of damage.
Oof. Right, okay, so that's 12 through. Ouch. So that shot has hit it square through the shoulder, blown out its clavicle, and fractured the bones around that area as well. It's looking pretty shaky after that. Okay, so Mog, you to go.
I'm standing
Right.
firm, by the way.
I gathered that because I saw the thing was still on.
Right, I am going to take a big swing with force perspective, and seeing that I have damaged it quite a lot, I'm going to start aiming for its neck.
Right, you are. The way this will work
Yep.
is a hit with a hit in which you do either the I've forgotten the name of the two stunts. The two ones that do extra damage: mighty blow and lethal blow.
Yeah.
Hits the neck. They still
Okay.
do whatever damage you would roll, but any blow that does those stunts and reduces it beyond 0 hit points decapitates it.
Okay.
So, roll to hit.
I have already.
Oh, so you have 15.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Sadly didn't stunt, but I did want to hear those rules, so.
Yes, they're actually in the description of the vampire rules.
Okay.
So
Cool,
15, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
Yep.
That's 11 damage. Okay, so that's 7 gets through its armor. Right. You are down amongst the regions where a few more blows like that, coupled with one of those stunts I mentioned, could finish it.
Yeah.
So
I am going to also retreat a little bit.
Okay, move yourself to where you like to move. So, you swing force perspective at the creature's neck. It realizes what you're trying to do and brings its arms up to defend itself. Force perspective hits it across the arm. It actually breaks one of its arms. You hear it go and see that it's broken, but then it just clicks back into place. It doesn't regain the health points, but it doesn't suffer the damage of a broken arm either. Okay, so that's Mog to go. Tamara, you to go.
I am slashing at the undead in front of me with the longsword.
Right, you are. Make an attack roll with your longsword. And that's a hit with 1 point of stunts. Not a huge amount you can do with a single point of stunts. So your options are either skirmish, which means you can move either the skeleton or yourself up to 2 squares, or you can do stay away, which would give you +1 to hit next round.
I think I'll go for the next round.
Right, you are. So you gain a +1 on your roll next round, but you've still done damage this round, so if you want to roll the damage for a longsword, that's 12 points of damage, so that's not actually left it much. It's down to its last 5 hit points. So you've slashed it with the longsword, you've shattered a lot of the rib cage, you've left it with just like the rear half of the ribs attached to the spine and holding it together now. It's in an extremely bad way. Another blow will almost certainly finish it. So it is. It's that particular Walking Dead to go next. Doesn't need a morale test because they're dead and don't take them. Otherwise, it probably would at this point. It's going to attempt to claw you. So it's attempted to claw Tamara. It's hit, but just. It just got past our shield and got in for 5 damage. So that's 1 by the time it gets past your armor.
I suspect that Tamara probably needs some healing balm.
Tamara.
Yeah, skim that way.
Yeah. Okay, this one's now heading this way.
Kurge might need some as well.
Don't forget you can take a breather once this fight's over. This skeleton's following Mog, but she's still on the roof, so it can't do anything about it. It's just
looking up.
It's just looking up at her. This other one's doing the same thing. Okay, so Courage to go.
Right. Still got this one here, have we?
Yep.
Yep.
Just.
And I'm guessing I can't see around that corner, can I?
No, you can't.
Right. Okay. All out attack on that one right there.
Okie dokie. All out attack on that one. So you go thundering up towards it and make an attack roll.
Oh, is that Mog that I can see to the left?
You can now, yes.
Ah. Okay.
She's on the ceiling, like. So.
Oh, right. So I may not notice
You
it.
might
You
not
probably
notice
see
it.
a hair.
Crocodile's eyes are on the top of the heads, though.
Yeah,
Yes, I suppose for looking at prey directly above them when they're in water.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
it's a good point.
Okay, roll
Right.
your
So
attack.
I'm not getting the +1 for the fact he's prone. So I'm on just the +4,
Mhm.
but I get the +1 for the damage if I hit.
You did hit. You
Oof,
also scored
just.
1 stun point.
Lovely. Right. For the 1 stunt point, then I think I might. Oh,
Roll the
that
damage
also
first. Roll the damage
that
first.
all right. That also took the +1 from the last stay aware that I had.
Yes.
Unless that's already gone. No. Either way, it's gone.
Yeah.
So the damage 2d6 +5 because it's an all-out attack.
I don't think it can
This is-
survive. There's no describe how you've destroyed this one.
Running out of my cranny, grabbing him by the leg, sweeping it out from under him, and smashing him against the ground.
Right,
I
you
thought
are.
you were going to say you've thrown him down the stairs.
You grab him by the leg and pull. He hits the ground with such force that the skeleton just shatters into its component parts and breaks apart. So I will just delete this one. Okay, that's Courage gone, and it's round to the next combat round. Now then, I have to decide if the vampire is going to come after you. It's quite badly damaged, so I don't think it will. I think it's going to slither away to find a way to lick its wounds.
Or lick a dead goat or something.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 8, 9, 10.
Am I going to have been able to see which way it went from round here? I think I would have done, yeah.
Let me just
Well, if it's
take a
at
look.
that corner, you would see that it disappeared round the corner.
Yeah.
I don't think you would see there, no, because it was round the corner. It was there, so it went backwards and down.
Yeah, so you'd know that it didn't go north.
It didn't go north, it went sort of southwest. But beyond that, you don't know.
Okay.
And that is Alderan to go.
You know what I'm going to do.
I do, yeah. Okay, that's 10. That's a hit, and you have 1 point of stuns.
Right. So the first skeleton takes... How close is it?
It's under 6.
It's definitely within 6. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
within 6 squares. So yeah, so that's 17 damage.
17 damage, so it's 4, 13 by the time it gets through its armour.
And it gets knocked back 2 squares.
And knocked back 2 squares. Okay. So you hit it with such force it staggers backwards. The arrow's kind of protruding from the side of its skull. And I take it you're standing firm again.
That might as well. I mean, there's
Yeah.
not much point doing much else. But if you've noticed, even if I rolled a 1-1, I can't not hit these things
That's right, you can't, no.
with the bow.
They're too clumsy. So, Margaret, you to go.
I'm gonna take a bit of a risk. I'm gonna drop down on top of this guy. Is that
Yeah,
possible?
go on.
Can I
Yeah.
attack it in the same round as I do that?
Yes,
Would that be like a charge?
I'm going to, because a charge is kind of on the flat and doesn't have the same advantage of gravity adding to the situation. So I'm going to make this. This is going to be an unusual situation in that make a dexterity acrobatics roll. Try and beat 8. If you beat 8, you'll land
I'll
on
beat
it.
8.
Right.
Yeah.
Roll the damage as if you'd just punched it.
Oh, right. How would I do that?
Punch
What
damage
dice
would
is-
normally be 1d3 plus your strength.
Okay, 2 chicks. D3, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I need
This
to
is
do
from
this
landing on it. You
manslaughter.
still get an attack. If you use the dice roller on the side, you should be able to click advanced, and then you'll be able to type. Or you can just do /roll 1d3.
Oh, hang on, I found the advanced thingy.
That wouldn't let you do a D3.
No, that doesn't give me an option for D3. So it's backslash roll.
Space D3 plus 3.
Hmm,
Like
so
you
it
put a
doesn't-
plus sign in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 4 damage you did to it from just dropping on it.
Oh.
I'm going to make that armor piercing because it's the impact of having a bloody great orc fall on you. Now
Yep.
you can make a attack roll as normal. I'm going to stand you next to it just so I can get at it to do the.
Okay. Right.
Actually, I'm going to make that.
That'd be a hit.
Right. Yep, that's a hit. Roll the damage.
Oh, what's its dex?
Minus
It's
1.
lower than mine.
Oh yeah, you get the extra dice against these.
Yeah, the -1, the dexterity. That's 10 more damage.
Yep.
So it's another 6 gets through. Okay, so you drop onto the thing and then step backwards and swing your axe and clatter it in the side of the head, shearing off one of the horns completely. It doesn't look well. I mean, it's a skeleton. It didn't look that well in the
it's a
first place.
skeleton.
Yeah.
Bit malnourished at this point.
Yeah, it's not exactly the sort of person you're going to see advertising health drinks, is it?
I kind of want one of these
Maybe
horns,
fashion.
though.
Maybe fashion, yeah. Okay, so it is Tamara, you to go next.
Yeah, I'm gonna venture a little way forward, just enough to be able to see any more of the undead.
Okay, the only 2 you can see are the one Mog's just hit and the one that's staggering backwards from the blow of the arrow. And I'll just double check this, but I think you could reach either one. Yeah, you can. You can reach either one if you'd like to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stick with that then. And then I'm going to fire arrows.
Right, yeah.
That's probably the closest one.
Okay, that would be the one Mog's just
that
hit.
just attacked me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's 13. That's a hit. Roll the damage. Bloody hell, that's 11 points of damage. That's 7 has got through. -7. So that arrow hits it square in the chest. It comes out the back, having taken several ribs with it as well. The thing's looking to be in a bad way. I know I've said this a lot, but a strong breeze at this point would probably be its undoing. Now, this other undead to go next, and it's going to return to the fray, advancing on Mog. Slashes with a claw. Slash. And 16, that's a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Claws Mog across the side of the face for 8 points of damage.
Oh, shit. Oh, my armor still counts,
Your
though,
armor
right?
still counts, yeah.
Thank God.
Okay, so that'll be, I think, 4 points of damage by the time maybe it's less. I just forget what your armor is. Okay, so it is the only other surviving Walking Dead, which is also in hand-to-hand combat with Mog. There's a little bit, as far as undead can be confused, it is confused because you've just landed on it. Oh, good God. Does 12 hit you?
I think that's just a miss, but let me just double check. Oh, thank God for that. That is a narrow miss.
Right, good. Okay, otherwise it would have stunted. So it lunges fire with your claws, and you see it coming and kind of pirouette around it, so that it just claws through the air, desperately trying to get you, but you just keep one step ahead of it all the way. And Courage to go. Glenn, Courage to go.
Good. Have
I
you
was talking away and I was on mute. Right.
We've all done that today.
Yeah, running the thing.
My players, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just conscious of my crisps. That's all. Right. So we've got Mog here and two undead either side of her. Is that correct?
Yep, that's
Yep.
correct.
Lovely. Okay. Can I see from here which is more badly damaged?
They're both quite badly damaged, but you would say the more southerly one slightly more so.
Okay. All out attack on that one.
Okay, you race up there as fast as your little legs will carry you, which is surprisingly fast for crocodiles, actually.
Oh yeah.
And attack it. Roll to hit.
Please don't completely powderize its horns.
I'll do my best.
That's a hit. No stunts, but it's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Roll the damage. Okay, how would you like to do this?
Right.
Crunch.
Biting through its legs and then up through its pelvis and across its sternum.
Mhm.
I bite right the way through, sort of crunching it to powder up until I get to the neck.
Mhm.
Then I just neatly snip off the head and throw it to Mog.
Thanks, buddy!
With a little
Oh.
bit of a narrative flourish, I'm going to say that Mog just sticks one big meaty hand out and catches it as well.
Marvellous. Minor action.
Mhm.
Is there such a thing as to like make ready for the next attack, or to?
Yes, there's something very similar. Let's just have a look.
As a minor action, you can guard up, you can move, you can prepare.
Prepare, yeah.
Pick one major action that you prepare to execute, and then end your turn anytime until your next turn.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
No,
Press the attack.
that's only if something's falling back.
That means you move up to it, so that's going to happen.
Yeah,
Ready, which is
just to get a weapon out.
cast, reload, move.
Yeah.
So
Aim,
there's not really.
activate.
That's what I was looking for. No, I think the thing I was looking for is. Yeah, I have a suspicion that's from a different game from the age range, actually, the thing I was thinking of. Okay, so no, there isn't
Well-
really.
Okay. Is there any bonus for attacking from the rear?
Yes, I'd give you +1 for attacking from the rear.
Marvellous. In which case, I will use my
Move
minor
around.
action to come around
Yep.
from behind,
Okay,
ready for the next one.
so you stealthily work your way around behind it. The fleeing vampire continues to flee, so I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14. Right, it's getting that far. Then Alderan to go.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do. I'm
Go
gonna run
ahead.
forward.
That's a hit. Roll the damage.
14.
14 points of damage. Okay. So that's 10 gets through. So you've hit it in the skull. It's now got an arrow sticking out of its forehead. Hasn't yet gone down, but there's not much left of it. And Mog, you to go.
Hold on. Hold
Okay.
on. We're not done yet. I'm going to move to this corner.
Okay. You can move to that corner. Mog, you to go.
Ah, well, I might as well hit it.
Okay, go for it. I'm just going to check
Come on.
what Alderan can
Oh,
see from
did I
there.
hit?
You hit. Yeah.
Oh, woo.
Okay, Alderan can't see the fleeing vampire from there. You can see two directions it might have gone in, but he can't see the fleeing vampire. And is that 18 damage you've just done?
Yeah?
Yep, describe how you want to do this.
Well, I just sort of cleave the axe diagonally from shoulder to hip and cleave it in two.
Okay. You
Which
cleave
I'm
it.
sure leaves lots of dust and powder and grossness.
It does, yes. There's bits of sharp bone flying through the place as you cleave it in two with force perspective and shatter the creature completely. And that
Um,
take. Sorry.
Then,
Mhm.
and then, with that skull that Courage tossed to me,
Mhm.
I'm going to break one of those horns off, I'm going to push it up my wrist, and now I've got a nice new bracelet as well.
Right, okay, make a note of it. Note that on
Yeah.
your character sheet. You break off one of the horns and turn it into a bracelet as you push it up your big, strong, orcish arm. Now then, that takes us out of combat. All the enemy are down or fled. As far as you know, only the vampire itself seems to have escaped. And from where Alderan's standing, there's two possible directions it could have gone in. The question for you is, do you press the search for it now, or do you take a breather to recover some lost health?
I really need to heal because I'm on
Yeah,
7
me
hit
too.
points.
Okay. So let's just bring up breathers then. Don't forget we can also do heal actions on one another, but let's start with a breather. So everybody gets back 5 constitution, 5 plus their constitution plus their level in health.
2 seconds.
Yes.
I'm kind of concerned about us all of us resting.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Mog needs to. If the rest of us are okay, I know Tamara might be more injured. Myself and Alderan could get after that vampire before he gets too far away, and everybody else could still sort of be resting up while we're going and doing that.
If you feel like splitting the party, you could do that.
Would you
Well-
like one of my various hammers?
Yeah.
The vampire is already at a disadvantage. He's already been worn down. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we're having a breather, he's going to get a breather,
That's
and
true.
the regenerative powers
Mhm.
of a vampire are legendary. Yes.
Okay. Yes, that's very true. Okay. So the party, having never actually seen horror films, decide to split into 2 groups. Half of them are going to go into the darkness after the vampire. The other half are going to be left behind on their Todd to
Darkness.
to
What
rest up.
darkness?
Well, it's still dark. It's just you can see it. Okay, so those of you who are resting get 5 plus your constitution plus your level back in health. Okay.
Has the encounter ended, thereby ending my current spell and form?
Yes.
Right.
So you will change back into a bear man if you would like to flip your
Yeah.
token back over to Kurge's natural form. You can feel your muscles rippling and changing as you change shape, and fur comes through where the scales were. They start to fade back into your skin.
You might want to move
I
lower
am-
his size.
I am not that size yet.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you. One day soon.
Okay, so those of you who are wounded, was that breather enough, or do you need more healing?
So, could you just run it by me again? It's Constitution
It's
plus
yeah,
level.
it's 5 plus your constitution plus your level. That's how many health points you get back.
Right. Okay.
And if you need further healing beyond that, let me just take a look at.
I do have a health kit, and I've also got the balm if we need it.
Well, you can try a healing action on each other if you would like.
Oh, okay.
It's a intelligence healing test. If you don't have healing as a focus, just intelligence will do. You need to score 11 or better. Let me know if you pass that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Mog failed. Tamara passed.
Okay.
So Tamara, you can either heal yourself or Mog, and you heal. Let's see, 3 plus whatever your intelligence is.
Okay.
Um,
So would be 3 then.
I assume Mog still has a first aid kit, yeah? Is it,
Yeah,
and-
I've
and-
still
and-
got. I've got 3 first aid kits,
Yeah.
Right.
and I have enough balm for either 1 restoring of 3d6 health, which I prefer not to use, or 2 restorings of 2d6 health.
Yes. Okay.
How badly injured are you now?
I'm better than I was. Definitely.
I'm currently still less than half.
Okay. In which case, I'm healing you then.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That is quite bad news for Mog then. That seems to be quite a lot of. Oops, Daisy, I've just.
Vicious fight there.
Kind
Yeah.
of wear that vampire quite far down on my own. So
Yeah, I mean, that was quite impressive, taking the vampire in hand to hand on your. Well, you didn't take him out, but you're taking him
Yeah.
on hand to hand. Now then, I'm going to dish out the experience points for that fight, and then we're going to work out how much further into the darkness the other 2 characters are than you are. So, for that particular fight, The bulk of you were fighting the skeletons. Mog was fighting the vampire. I'm going to lump it into one fight though, because the sheer number of skeletons was a threat
Yeah.
to everybody. It very nearly took Tamara out by dragging her down. So I'm
Mhm.
going to say everybody gets 400 experience points.
Level up.
Oh, thank you.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Bear in mind there was 2 characters that came close to going out. There, so
Yeah,
I
it
think
could have been a lot worse for tomorrow if that first one had thrown her into the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another one of them had done a swarm attack.
Yes.
And then another one had done a swarm attack.
Yeah, exactly. It could
It's
have got
just
quite
multiple,
nasty.
multiple damage. And the fact that she had 4 armor points versus number of attacks that only roll 3 damage
Yeah,
mitigated some of that.
it did. But she was in severe trouble, and Mog managed to hold off a vampire thrall on her own, so that the rest of you could concentrate on taking out the things. I think that was a severe fight. You are depleted. You've had to use some of your magical healing, so I think it's worth the 400 points. Okay, so where are Alderan and Kurge going in the 5 minutes they've got before the others feel capable of
The
catching
first
them up?
point is we'll have a look down this way. Is this vampire bleeding and dripping?
It was, yes, so you can try and track it if you'd like.
Oh,
Yeah.
tracking.
Yeah.
Although you're an elf ranger, so
Well, I don't have that kind of skill.
right.
That was really racist. You're an elf. You can
He's an elf ranger. Come on, they've got great perception, and it's his job.
Yeah, the
I've got
character
perception
class is
seeing.
more what made him think of it. I will allow you a perception seeing test. I'll just make it a slightly higher target number than I would have done if it was tracking.
Right.
Well, that's
yeah, add 2 to that.
yeah, that's fine. In that case, you can see drips of blood heading down the southern passageway.
This way.
Yes, that's right. The further down the passageway they get, the less blood flow there is, and the larger the gaps between the
There's some blood on the
individual
floor.
blood. Yeah, there we are. I'll just turn that the right way and extend it into. There we go. And then it gets a bit less dense as it goes further and further down that passageway. But yeah, you're pretty sure he went south.
Right, okay, Kurge, what's your speed?
In my native form.
Yeah.
12.
12, right. So we're going to be moving at 12 then.
Okay.
Okay. I can go faster if you want me to. So I'm just looking at what might be wise to take into this fight.
Okay. You say a fight. You don't know it's going to be a fight. He might have forgiven you by the time you get to... Okay, so Alderan is heading down that corridor. You notice that the blood spatters now are fewer and further between by a considerable amount. You also notice that the corridor is widening out in all directions into what seems to be a much larger room. Description is to
And there's,
follow.
what's
Check
next?
the ceiling.
Well, we always do.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
pretty much always do. I just need to find the key.
So
There it is.
What's this thing over here?
That's a wooden door. Bear with me a second, I'll give you the description. This large room with a high roof is a natural cavern, but shows signs of having been occupied and modified. A set of huge double doors dominates the west wall. They must once have been beautifully carved, but the carvings have long since deteriorated through rot or been overgrown by mould and lichen. You can't see the rest of that description, so I won't read it.
Yeah, it's looking like maybe it's a tomb down here.
Could be.
Are you with me, Kurge? Where you at?
I'm right here. Well, hang on, where are you?
He's actually gone down the corridor that...
Which corridor?
the
Can't
southern
see
corridor.
East, effectively.
Into the room I've just described. Keep going.
I've only got a small candle. There we go.
That's
Right.
true. You can't see very far at all, can you? Also,
Four candles.
that candle was sort of attached to your back with melted wax, which was fine while you were a crocodile.
this bear on fire goes running past me. Around the corridor.
I'm going to assume one of the first things you did was reach round and rip it off your back before it set your fur on fire.
I would think, narratively speaking, that the magical act of changing form, the magical act of changing form would probably just like extinguish the candle and knock it off from where it was. It's no longer attached to me at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't be attached to the wax.
Yeah.
Would be sort of flaked and it would
Yeah,
drop.
I
would
suppose in a
expect.
shower of wax it'll have dropped to the ground and you've had to relight it.
And thereby not being able to see, I would have relit it and carried on like that and carried it in reasonable
So
form.
currently where you are, you can see the spray of blood here that you can hear Alderan's voice in the darkness ahead of you somewhere.
Yeah, I'll follow his voice.
Okay, keep moving down the corridor then. We'll tell you when to stop.
There's a trail of blood here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's vampire blood. Keep going.
Oh right, okay. I thought the vampire's blood was black.
Imagine that's black.
Oh, right, okay.
Imagine that's a dark stain on the ground, right?
Yep, no worries.
So obviously you weren't really paying attention when I was describing the blood, but were you paying attention when I described the room, or do you need me to describe it? Re-describe it?
There's a wooden door with some carvings that have long since been deteriorated and
Yeah, that's pretty much. That'll do.
and rotted.
Yeah, that's across the southwest from where we are.
Yeah. It's a much larger room, and I did say we would check the ceiling.
And the room
Yes,
opens
you
out
did, actually.
round to the
Round to
east.
the east, it does. Yes.
It was only a thrall. There is
Yes.
still a master vampire.
Yep. Make a perception roll. You may use whichever of hearing, seeing, or smelling that you wish to use.
Right. Alderon, have you already done seeing?
Well, yeah, I did a seeing test before, which rolled a 22.
Right. I'll do hearing then.
Okay. Okay, so you can hear nothing in this room. Just as Alderon can see nothing dangerous in this room.
Mm-hmm.
With 6 points of stunts for here and now, you wouldn't be able to. Okay. Yeah, that's it. You can't really hear much of anything here.
Okay,
It's
so
eerily silent.
I'm guessing that's a fail.
No. At 20, well, I shouldn't really tell you, but at 21 it would be highly unlikely to be a fail.
But that's what I was thinking. It's just the 6 points of stunts, as in whether I can spend them or not. So I would. You can only spend stunts if you succeed. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So mechanically, I do need to know.
Yeah. Well, you can
Yeah.
spend the stunts if you want to.
Right. Okay. So the object of my attention. That there is nothing to take my attention. I can't hear anything.
Nope. Eerily
that
silent.
That makes me wonder.
Okay.
It makes me wonder: is it actually silent, or is it just somebody sitting there making no noise?
I'm not sure I'm grasping the difference between those two.
It's a very obscure reference to an old Discworld book.
Actual versus virtual.
Yeah, it was from God, what was the one that had like the assassins doing the driving test?
I have no idea.
Was it like the equivalent of the driving test for assassins?
I feel there are a lot of Discworld books at some point I didn't get around to reading.
It's not guards.
I've certainly read all of those ones, and all the Witches I've read. So must be.
Well, it's academic at present. I can find out later.
Yeah.
I'll take the upper hand.
Take the upper hand, right?
Yeah, for a 3+ bonus on initiative.
Okay.
No doubt that will come in handy.
It probably will.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Another 2. And I'll take advantageous positioning.
Okie dokie. So, you think that creeping around this wall and putting yourself somewhere where the enemy can't come at you from any
Yeah.
multitude of directions is probably the best bet. You would
Mhm.
really like to know what's around that corner as well in case there's a
Mhm.
threat.
I could have a sneak down there and have a look.
Go for it. Make a stealth roll.
Make a stealth roll, which
I
is
may or may not
dexterity.
be rolling something on Whisper to see if it's opposed.
Oh no, I don't get to roll a second time unless I don't like the first one. Sorry, 17.
Yeah. 17's pretty good. Yeah. So you can stealthily sneak about a bit, you assume. You're pretty
That's good.
sure. Right. So from round that corner, what you find is a second set of doors. This one's smaller than the first, but otherwise largely similar, beyond the fact that it's about a third smaller. You notice there's a large amount of fungus and mushrooms growing around the area to the door as well. And the door itself looks to be somewhat damaged by mold and wet rot.
That's interesting.
I thought so.
We have come up against fungus before, so he's sneaking. Yes, so
He's sneaking, yeah.
He'll have told me, don't follow me and come blathering in with your huge knife.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
You're noticing just how silent the elf is as he moves off across this slightly uneven floor. I do say slightly because the cavern floor is not actually as uneven as all that, giving you the impression that at some point somebody's worked it a little bit to make it less, less uneven. I'd hope for another word.
What's this
there.
over here in this corner? And
It's some kind, right? They're both some kinds of molds or slimes.
Okay.
This one's more slimy. That one's more moldy.
So I'm not going to go anywhere near them. I'm going to return to where Kurge is, and I'm going to whisper in his ear that there's another door, but it's covered in fungus to the east. I would suggest potentially that we go to the west door and have a listen.
Okay. I'm going to say that we've probably used about... I've just realised we have a second Kurge over there. I'm just going to delete him. You've probably used about 2.5 to 3 of those minutes so far, so the others will be able to catch up with you shortly. If you want to go and creep over to the door to have a listen, I will allow Alderan to keep the stealth roll he's already made, or you can choose to make another one if you'd prefer.
No, I'll keep the one I've got.
Okay. Kurge, you would need a new one at this point.
A new stealth roll.
Stealth roll, if you wanted to follow him, or you can just stand there and wait.
I'm more curious as to why the trail of blood ends here and there's no further evidence of it.
There's some to the south still.
Ah, right, okay.
There's another patch.
I think that might just be outside of your candle range. It is.
That's exactly, yes.
But certainly the blood spatters are getting further and further apart, which suggests the thing might, as you suggested, possibly be starting to regenerate some of that damage, which is nice.
Well, I'm going to have a listen at this door.
Okay, so first things first, I need to roll something, and then you're going to need to roll something. So just bear with me a second.
Dice, I would presume.
Dice, yeah. I'm going to have to make sure that this thing is on Whisper this time, and not blow the gaff like I did earlier. So, let's have a quick look. Okay. Would you now like to make your listen roll, please?
Do you want to hear a secret?
Right, you can hear voices from beyond the door. They are faint, but it doesn't sound like they're whispered. It sounds like people are actually speaking quite bombastically, but it's quite faint by the time you hear it. So either it's from a distance or the door's quite thick.
Is there any indication of how thick the door would be from examination?
Make a perception seeing roll with a target number of 15. No, you're not sure. Okay, what you hear is in an archaic dialect of Flanage. So you can make out what's being said, but it's a touch on the difficult side. You can hear two deep rumbling male voices. One appears to be reporting to the other about what's just occurred in the Bat Cave. The Bat Cave. Whilst the other one... whilst
Next
the
thing
other
you
one
know, there's a
replies...
pig with a white face. A black pig with a white face runs through the cave.
Yeah. Whilst the
Anyway.
other one replies with... You have done well.
Look at that goth ham.
Replenish yourself from the font, and we will greet our guests. Okay, so I'm going to say that the others are about finished their rest now. So if you want to catch up with everyone, you can move yourself to where Courage is.
Yeah. Nell, do you need any more healing?
I think I'll be okay for now.
Okay.
I'll
Right,
move you to where Courage is actually, because I'm not sure if you can see.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going.
Mog could see you.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of blood.
Isn't it?
Uh,
Okay, so you guys...
okay, yeah, I just literally have a black screen now.
That's probably because I've
Just
moved you
scroll
quite
down
a
a bit.
distance, so if you scroll down and to your left.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so this is a much larger cave that you're in. Kurd just seen you coming and he's like flagged you down with one paw and put a finger over his lips to indicate silence. As you peer round, Tamara probably can't see much of anything from there. Kurd should be shedding some light though, and doesn't appear to be.
No, I mean, I can see my token, but everything else is just black.
Yep, I just need to see why Courage isn't showing that light. All players see light. There we go. You should now be able to see the light that Courage has shown. So Tamara, you can see a little way, but not far. It's very dark. You've just got this candle light that Courage is holding. Mog, on the other hand, you've got night vision.
Yep.
Can you actually see anything?
I can see loads. Usually I see in green, but right now it's all white. But,
Okay,
be
that's
normal.
weird because
I can see all the way up to this slimy old green stuff.
oh, that's why. Because I'm clicking on the because I'm clicking and not seeing what you're seeing. But
Yeah, I don't think the bloodstain can see, like.
no, I don't think it can. I'm just going to see why your night vision's changed colour.
My night vision is like daylight.
Oh, I know why. Because this is an old map that's still on legacy
fair.
lighting. So that would be why.
Okay.
I haven't changed this over to the new dynamic lighting yet because of the debacle when we tried that with an old map last week.
Yeah.
My night vision actually is out to this distance from me.
Yeah.
Bright, and then it's dim beyond that.
Yeah, it probably should be dim a bit before that, but I'll fix that later. Okay, so Mog, you can see where Alderan's got his pointy ears pressed against. Oh, well, not both of them. Obviously, that would be
Really
tricky.
weird.
He's got one of his pointy ears pressed against that old wooden door that used to have some very interesting carvings on it, although the carvings are largely
away?
worn away, yeah, weathered off now.
Yeah, and there's no bloodstains on the door.
There are... Make a perception seeing roll with a very low target number. Oh yes, there are. There's partial bloody handprint on the door.
Or claw print, or whatever
Claw
it is.
print,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I suspect that that's what I've just heard from being down, voices coming down there.
Mm-hmm.
What I will do is I will go back to the party, and I will explain the situation to them.
Okay.
In that there's at least 2 vampires. I would presume from the voices that I've just heard through the doorway, The one we fought and another one who's of a higher rank.
That'll be the master then.
And didn't the was it a halfling that we spoke to, or a gnome?
It was a gnome.
It was a gnome. Didn't he say that if we took down the master, yeah,
It'll throw out as well.
or was that actually from something that Kurge happened to know?
I can't remember which it was. I think that was
I
just
think it
something
was
Kurge
Kurge's history.
knew.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm trying
was
to
also
think
some-
why Hewell would know that, and I can't think
Yeah.
why. So I'm pretty sure that was from your arcane knowledge.
Kurge just happened to reveal himself as an expert. There was also something else that was mentioned, but my character didn't hear it. So can I remind Sean as a player?
Yes, you can. That's fine.
Right. He said replenish yourself from the font.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That sounds
So
like
I would assume there was a font of blood within.
Yeah.
But does he mean? Is it nighttime? Does he mean the mage font? Because if it means that, we've got it.
It could mean that. It's not nighttime though.
Okay, well, it's not that then.
No,
Because I have to go out into the
I
hours.
would be thinking-
I think that there's a font of blood in there. I
Right,
think
okay.
we want to go in there, target that, so
Yeah.
they can't replenish themselves. Depending on how damaged that thrall might still be, we could take him out first so that we're not being attacked by at least two of them. If he has replenished himself and he's back to full, we go for the master instead. And we try to stick him with every kind of pointy piece of wood that we can. And then once there's something sticking out of him, I'll cast regrowth on it to try to get it to do more damage on the inside of him.
Ooh, I like.
Oh, that's quite nasty. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that arrow that hits him in the shoulder and lodges.
exactly.
Regrowth. That's now through the heart.
In character,
That is my plan.
in character, I'm gonna put my hand on Kurge's shoulder and say, "Don't you dare run off again."
That's a fair point.
We've got to do this as a group. You can't go off running off, or they'll pick you off.
I've seen every horror film ever released. What's a horror film?
Shadow puppets. We have
God,
shadow
let's-
puppet
let's-
aliens.
He turns to you in all earnest, swallows deeply, and says, "I'm trying to be brave."
Well, you need to know when bravery is bravery and when bravery is just stupidity. That's the bit you need to learn.
That's coming from an orc. Okay, so
Now who's being racist?
Well, what do we do? Do we kick the door open? Do we?
I say we've got two archers. Fire two arrows in, so we get the drop on them first from the door. Then they're going to have to close distance with us.
Okay.
If it's
Fire.
locked, I can pick it. That'll save our feet.
I would have thought it would be locked, but that's
Do you know? I'm guessing it might not be, but give it a try. Actually, hang on. Do I know that vampires might be vulnerable to fire?
they might be vulnerable to fire,
And that's a wooden door
and that's a wooden door. Yeah.
that I could regrow so that they'd have great difficulty getting out.
Given their strength, you're not sure they would have great difficulty getting out.
Yeah.
Didn't one of them have difficulty like matching strength with Mog?
A thrall did, yeah.
Mog's pretty strong, like.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Well, let's see if the door's open. If it is, let's loose two arrows into the place first.
Okay.
If they manage to, if the arrows stick into them, then I'll cast regrowth on them.
Okay, for the plan, I'm going to give Kurge 50 points. For the role playing about like don't run off, I'm going to give Louise 50 points. And for Kurge's comeback about he's trying to be brave, which is, for those who don't know, that is quite a significant piece of character development for the character. So I'm going to give you another 25 points.
Thank you.
I'm also going to give Sean 25 points for the reconnaissance. And I'm going to give Louise and Nell, 25 points for staying behind to heal up, and the choices they made about where they were putting the healing and whatnot.
Thank you. Right, next thing.
Mhm.
I have on me 3 stakes. I reckon me and Kurge should take one each.
Mhm.
I don't know who would like the other one.
Did we
Because
not
you're
make
both-
more than that?
You got
before we
three.
went in?
You made 3 for everybody. So
Mhm.
Did I make 3 for? Did we make 3 for everybody?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Everybody's carrying 3 sticks.
Scratch that then.
Okay, so if you'd like to position yourselves as you prepare to breach,
I'm on the ceiling again.
very wise. Yeah.
Feeling dancing.
No, that would be Nicholas if
I'll
he ever
move
got the
Tamara
spell.
in because she can only see when she's close enough to. Okay, so you're positioning yourselves nicely there. I need to go over to the dynamic lighting, and then I need
It's
to
gonna be
make
a
Ah,
case
sure
of-
I'm on.
hang on.
Yeah.
One other possible thing we could do.
By the way, now
Yeah.
you've got this far down, there's no lock on that door.
Okay.
Excellent. One other thing we could do.
Mhm.
I could send in an arcane servant carrying the seeds that I picked up. They're very
Scatter them.
small. Yeah, very small. Get in there, scatter them, see if the vampires try to count them.
I like that as a plan. That's quite interesting. So I'm going to give you 50 points for it.
Thank you.
Not going to say whether it'll work or not, but I'm going to
No,
give
no.
you 50 points for it.
They may have to make a willpower test,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or he may turn and look at you and say, "Oh, now you've done it," and get down on his hands and knees and start sorting them.
They might, or they might just go, "What? You really believe that folkloric rubbish now? Who's being racist?"
The vampires are race, though.
No, they're not actually. No, they're not.
Right, question. Arcane servant's form.
Yes.
Could it be a bat?
I.e., could it fly?
Yes.
See in the dark.
I think we might be pushing. I don't know. It does say. I mean, if you wanted it to do, cleaning cobwebs out of your vaulted ceilings, I suppose.
I'm just thinking a bat wouldn't arouse any kind of suspicion because the place is full of bats.
A bat that can open a door would.
Well, the bat was already in there.
um,
If we open the door just enough to get an arcane servant
Go on,
through.
just for the narrative purposes, I'm going to say yes, it can resemble a bat.
Thank you. And I give the bat the pouch of seeds, and it can upend doors when it gets inside.
Okay, so it clutches the pouch of seeds in its little claws, and you tell it to upend those once it gets inside, or when it gets so far inside.
Once it gets to the other side of the at least 2 creatures that are in there.
Okay.
You mean drop it behind them, not in front of them?
Yes, so that they are looking away from us.
You hope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to count the seeds or to pick up the seeds or to look at this distraction. They're looking in the opposite direction to us, so that we can really get the drop on them.
Okay.
You're gonna bum rush them and take them from behind, is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay then, what would you like to do now that you've got your plan in place?
All the door hinges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this door we didn't actually hear it creak open, did we?
No, you didn't. No.
It's probably going to make like a really ominous horror movie creak now, though.
There's no keyhole then, if there's no lock.
There's no keyhole because there's no lock, that's correct. And
Are there any cracks between the wood panels?
yes, but not large ones. You could try peering in there.
I don't know. Don't know if that's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, so what's happening? What's people doing? What's going on? What's your next action?
Hanging out on the ceiling currently.
Right.
So we're going to push the door open, yeah? This is the
Yep.
plan, and the bat's going to fly in.
Yes.
And we're going to make it wide enough just for the bat to go in.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And you're firing some arrows in as well.
Well, listen to see if there's any reaction from the master and the thrall. If they start counting things, or if they start picking things up, or try to get a sense of what they might be doing in there. Win, lose or draw, we're still going to have to open the door, fire those 2 arrows. If they stick in, well,
Would you prefer?
Alderan's is definitely going to hit because it does with everything.
Would you prefer to open the northern or the southern one of the double doors?
Oh, it's double doors, right?
Double doors, yeah. They open inwards.
They open inwards, yeah, away from you.
Right, well, we're going to have to push the southern door then, because that's where I'm stood.
Right, you are. Okay, you're going to open this one, so it's about halfway to there. I'll switch my view back to Games Master's Overlay and see... oh, sorry, not Games Master's Overlay, that was silly. Objects and tokens. See what Alderan can see now as the bat goes streaking past him. He can see straight into the room. He notices several things. He notices there is a mosaic floor. Well, I say mosaic, it's tiles, but it's not making a picture. At the far end, crazy paving. At the far end, there are several steps up onto a platform, upon which is a long, flat piece of barely worked stone. So it's been sort of hacked out roughly, flattened off, and plonked on top of some other uprights as some kind of makeshift altar. Carved roughly on the front of it is a ram's head. Although there's something about that ram's head, it's either very badly drawn or it's not quite a natural ram. Behind it is a large, really ugly humanoid. It looks like it must be, I don't know, it looks like it must be 300-400-year-old just from the wrinkles, and it's slightly hunched. Its teeth are huge and protruding. Its hands have massive claws on it. Its eyes are wide and staring. Its flesh has a sort of greyish, unhealthy looking pallor to it. And it's looking straight back at you as the doors open. You also notice that just to the right here, you can barely see the Batman Beast Folk Thrall vampire that you fought earlier is hunched over what appears to be some kind of stone vessel carved out of a plinth. His head's actually inside this whirling mist of blood and sort of brown red ick that is just kind of licking globules off as it goes past him. His entire face is now covered in what looks like blood. He looks like an extra from Carrie. Just like somebody's just upended a bucket of blood over his head.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to knock that over.
Yeah, as you sort of peer in and as the bat flies in, you hear the master at the far end that's behind the altar puts his hands on it, leans forward and hisses at you all, "Welcome and enter of your own free will." And we'll leave it there for the week.
Oh! I knew you were going to do that.
Masterfully done.
Oh!
So
I didn't think that was going to happen.
So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the game today. I'll leave it on this this page for you for 24 hours if you want to get some planning done. But don't move your characters around, so you can only see what you can see at the moment. But I will let you.
Mine's done a snap to grid.
And then after 24 hours, I will put it back on the. Well, actually, I'm going to do that now for the sake of the video, and then I'll bring that back to you in a moment.
I've got a thought.
Although only
I've
I
had
need
it for
to
a
go over
while.
there for that to work. Yeah.
That vampire master is probably a mage, and I think it's in Protection Arcana, or maybe Divination or something like that, where you can look at a given area. Like as soon as somebody crosses a threshold, you can just see it like a security camera.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been watching us the whole time.
Well, thank you very much for joining me to play the game this afternoon. If you're watching the game on YouTube, thank you very much for watching it. Give it a like if you enjoyed yourself, and we'll know to keep recording these and putting them up. Thanks to everybody for coming to the game. I will see you all for the third part of For the Blood is the Life at the same time next week.
There we go.
Right. A suggestion. If I take the form of a boar, I've got a pair of massive tusks, yeah?